for the third-gen Commodore. He's just going to start off with a lower boost setting, you know, foot brake off the line, so definitely a lot more involved.
Does he trailer it here?
No, I believe. Oh, I think he might have actually, because it's got like a Pro Bracket radial slick tyre and front wheels, so I think he did trailer it here from. It's from Queensland. Not Queensland, ACT.
Yeah, just send it.
Yeah, I think full send. Yeah. That's it.
You're going to find the weak point. If you don't, it's all going to hold together.
Exactly right. So we've got the Tesla in the Aeroflow lane. So they're always electric, pardon the pun, off the line. 197 60 foot to the VE.
Zone out there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to cross the line at a 12.07 at 113 mile per hour to the VE Commodore at 12.93 at 109. Interesting, a fairly rare VF Commodore we've got here, Mark, in the Aeroflow lane. I believe that's a Motorsport edition, which was basically one of the last that was to roll off the line before Holden closed up shop. So definitely nice to see one of those out in the world. Yeah,
and doing what you should be doing with it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Effectively HSV running gear, suspension, brakes, all those sorts of things in the Motorsport edition. So really nice package. And the Dado has definitely found a little bit of speed off the line. Both still fairly, we say pedestrian 60-foot times, 2.5.
Yeah.
But the Dado's crossed for a 13.55 at 103, and the Commodore is a 14.05 at 106.
We've got an Audi down in the Aeroflow lane up against the Mini. Dave down there in the Mini, but
I think it is. Is it Dave?
It might be actually. Cooper 2.
It doesn't have a race number on though, I don't think.
No, I'm not sure if he's still up with his race number.
Yeah, okay.
Might have let it slip until he gets his
reaction time will
ready
tell
to get.
Yeah, that's Dave. He's chasing that O light, but yeah. All right, the Audi away for a nice 176 60 foot. There's definitely a little bit of German performance there. 11.76, 117 mile per hour. You wouldn't expect that when it was parked outside the cafe, would you?
Well, it's not too bad for the little Mini. 16.1.
Yeah, 16.1 and 88. Yeah, it is basically a standard car. So
yeah. Indeed.
Yep. All right, so another little Audi S3 in the rocket lane here, pulling up to the line.
Well, we've got the V-dub down here.
Yeah.
The guy's wheeling him back into the water.
That is an aggressive burnout for a Volkswagen.
Sounds good.
See a little bit of axle tramp there, so hopefully it's all everything's all okay. We'll get him into stage and see what he can do off the line.
I think if it didn't axle tramp, you'd be worried.
That's true, being a Volkswagen.
Yep.
Yep. A bit of chatter off the line, but it is keeping that late model Audi very honest. The bug is out the whole way down the track. It looks like maybe a missed gear there, a couple of little puffs, but it hasn't stopped it going through the traps for a 12.40 at 124 miles per hour.
Wow.
That is not your average Volkswagen Beetle.
No way.
I would say.
And 14.6 for the rocket lane. That was a great pass from that car.
Yeah. Yeah, that's once they get that bug dialed in a little bit harder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, boys, just chatting with a gentleman that I used to...
Definitely moving around a little bit, so... yeah.
Absolutely. What do you got, Stu?
So, sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to talk over you. I was just having a talk with a guy I used to commentate with, Dave Carter. That's his dad who just went down in the Volkswagen. They were just telling me that the last time they brought the car out, they brought the car too far forward and actually snapped the 15 grand gearbox. On that pass, they've still 10 pounds down from where they could potentially run that car, and they haven't put any ice on the intercooler yet either. So they're only for 10s.
Potentially a 10-second ET out of that Volkswagen, Mark. So,
okay,
yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. So yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for the gearbox.
Well, 124 there, guys. That's pretty impressive for its first pass. be interesting to see how it goes once this track cools down. Because I must admit, Pat, there's still a lot of bite in the sun, but the breeze down here, which is coming up the track, is actually quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's shaping up to be a really nice night for racing, Stu. So can't wait to see what the Bug has. We've got the little Corolla out for a 1960 foot. It's going to move on past for a 1098 at 135 mile per hour. It's a little more representative for that vehicle. Rocket Lane is a 1521 at 91 miles per hour for the Falcon use. And just like to say a big hello to everyone. We do have the live streams up and running, both on Facebook and on the Sydney Dragway official YouTube channel. So give us a shout out if you're tuned in on the stream. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're hoping to see tonight, and we will. If you've got any questions, send them through, and we'll do our best to monitor them. Okay, GR Yaris back in the Aeroflow lane this time, and we've got the little yellow KE Corolla up in the Rocket Lane, straight into stage for the Corolla. Let's see if he can't get out of the hole a little bit better. Both taking their time with the launches, which is perfectly fine. There's no time limit on getting away after that green light drops here at Wednesday night Race for Real.
I'll tell you what, he's banging that little Corolla through the gears.
He's charging hard in the back end. 12.11 at 127 mile per hour. So it's definitely found some horsepower there. The little Yaris was a 1340 at 106 mile per hour. All right, so Holden looks like a VZ SS in the Aeroflow lane, a stout burnout, and we've got the new Supra mark in the Rocket Lane.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of BMW DNA under the skin there, but definitely starting to find itself a bit of a following.
On the fence.
You're on the fence? You're not sure about it?
I do like it, but those tail lights, they look too small.
Hey fellas, I'm just down in the
size.
staging lanes.
What's your thoughts?
Yes, Stewie, go for it.
I've got an interview with the driver of this beautiful looking purple one-tonner. First of all, mate, what's your name?
Nino.
Dino, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, mate. Mate, I love your car. This thing is hot. I am a Ute fan. Tell me a little bit about the car. How long have you owned it, and what have you done to it?
I owned it 26 years, and yeah, built it from ground up. Yeah, so every nut and bolt, it's new.
And what are you running under the bonnet? Because I know some people run a 350 Chev in these older style Holdens, or is this a 383?
No, it's not. It's just 350. Yeah, it's just high comp, dart heads, and Victor Junior manifold. That's about it, really. Barry Grant carby. Yeah, just a good street car.
Mate, it is an ultimate street car. I know that Mark Thomas and Pat Elliott, who are upstairs as our main commentators tonight, they love this car as much as I do. Just one thing, mate, tell me about the tray, because you've gone a slightly different route. I know some people tend to go more with a wood panelling. You've gone something different.
Yeah, just wanted to be different. Everyone else got timber, so yeah, I put aluminium. Yeah.
All right, mate, we'll let you go and go and have some fun. Great stuff there from Dino, boys, in the one-tonner.
Absolutely, Stu. That's a passion piece for sure. 26 years of front to back, every nut and bolt, all brand new on that thing with a 350 Chev by the sounds of things. So, yeah, very, very nice. I like it. Let's see some more of it on the track tonight, Stu. Okay, so we've got the BA Falcon in the Aeroflow lane again, and the Datto's just rolled through on the stage, but that's okay. We'll get him squared away.
Yeah, you can go deep stage, but you can't go that deep.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice clean launch from the Falcon. Plenty of fuel on board by the looks of things. Yeah. On that tune-up, is going to move on down the track, cross the line for a 13.00 with a 3 at 111 mile per hour, and the Datsun 14.55 at 99 mile per hour.
Well, we got the Tesla back out again in the Rocket Lane up against this Audi.
This should be a good race, actually.
It will be a good race, yeah. I think they're fairly evenly matched on that.
Yeah, I think 60s are pretty close. I can't remember what the ET was of the... I know the Audi ran 11.
Yeah, okay. So the Tesla run a 12.2, I think it was.
Okay. So if you're watching along either here or at home on the stream, you'll see that the Audi actually just rolled through the beams a little bit far and went to back up just to bring that pre-stage bulb on again. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get anyone that rolls through, the track staff will go over and just back you right up out of stage completely and then get you to enter this pre-stage and then full stage again. There's a couple of reasons for that. Make sure that we know that you're in the right position, but also ensures that you're in the forward gear, Mark, because we don't want anyone to be on the two-step and in reverse at the same time. No. It's going to end up with a little bit of explaining, probably some shouting, some tears, and whatever else might come from a car launching in reverse. All right, there we go. The Tesla is out of the hole at 195. The Audi is a little quicker, 176 in the 60-foot. It is going to be close across the line, though. The reaction time for the Tesla is getting it there to the stripe first, but a 12.16 at 112 mile per hour versus an 11.74 at 117 for the Audi in the Aeroflow lane.
It just goes to show you just get that bit of a hole shot.
Yep.
And it just carries through.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, Dave. Dave's chasing that zero reaction line real hard tonight. We didn't even get a time on that one. He's clutch. It's got to be tricky though. I mean, that is a manual, that Mini.
Yes.
So it's tricky to cut a reaction time in a manual car.
Yep,
for sure. Maybe he had an extra shot in his coffee before he came out tonight as well. He might have the jitters. Oh, this is a match made in heaven for you, isn't it, Mark?
Absolutely.
Camaro on Holden. I'm going to get crucified. I'm going to call it a HQ. Front end, so WB, isn't it?
No.
No.
I didn't see the front end, but just it looks like it's a QE.
I'm pretty sure it's just a single headlight, so that's Q, right?
Could be either.
Okay.
Yep.
God.
Yeah, Prems and Statesman's have got the twin headlights.
Yep.
And Statesman's got the divider down with the split grille.
All right, well, whatever the front end, it's gone through at 1365 at 106 mile per hour.
It got there first.
Yeah, it got there first to the Camaro, 14.0 at 104. If those guys can come around in matched pairs all night, that's going to be a great
it will be. Yep.
A great bit of racing for the two
I reckon
owners.
we get Stewie down there to do a bit of smack talk between the pair.
Yeah, I
get
reckon.
Them G'd up.
Got to get a bit of a rev up there. Say, mate, that bloke in the
Hey,
Camaro.
Mark.
Go for it, Stu.
Did you see what just turned up in the lanes? PSC Racing are here with Toy Runner, the green and black Tirana.
Ah, I see Marky's got his Tirana out.
I haven't seen this car in such a long time. We know it's a great one here. Hi, brother.
How you going, good?
All right, man. What's been happening? We haven't seen you for ages.
No, I took a bit of a break when I'm back.
Well, I can tell you what, I can see the grin coming out of the commentary box right now, out of Mark Thomas's face. It is great to see you here.
Yeah, no, we'll be coming back more often.
Stewie, tell Mark down there that Pat is watching very closely and he's going to be a really harsh judge of how he runs tonight.
Oh, I certainly will.
Hey, mate.
Aren't you lucky that Pat's up there, not down here?
You're very lucky.
He's only lucky I'm up here because he's way too good looking and I'll just look terrible. So, No, it's great to see you back out, Marky. So let's see some big smoky burnouts and get some boost down that thing's throat.
Cannot wait to see it. I tell you what, we got Team Karam, which are back again as well in only 2 litres. This is another one of their customer Evos by the look of it.
Yep, very aggressive little car, that one. It's been out at roll racing and yeah, surprising a few people, I think, Stu. So it'll be good to see that one. See that one go. Yeah, cool. Good to see some great cars rolling through. We've got we know there's a couple of other Evos out there. I believe King 4G from Team Karam's back again, Mark. So the matte black car.
Yeah, I've seen those guys just sitting down, just about to roll through scrutineering a bit earlier. So yeah, there is some great cars. And talking about great cars, the V-Dub is just about to roll under the tunnel.
You beauty.
I'm definitely hanging to see this Tirana race.
Yeah, it's
It's got the hardware by the looks of it.
yeah. Yeah, we're not going to do any commentator cursing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I might say that it's probably made well north of 4 digits.
Yep.
So, yeah, very keen to see Marky hold on to it and send it. All right. Nice launch from the VE in the Aeroflow lane there. We've got the VF Motorsport in the Rocket lane. So 1271 at 112 mile per hour to a 1325 at 106 in the Rocket lane.
Commodore down in the Aeroflow lane. The Audi just casually rolls around the water.
Yep, it's all right. Don't worry. I've got my launch control. Says.
Yep, every electronic device going.
Yep.
And I'm going to use them all.
Spot on. Both into full stage. Let's see how we go. All right. Pretty even.
Are working well at the moment.
Yeah, Cube's working all right. The Commodore did get there first for a 1286 at 109, but the Audi was at 1261 at 109 as well. Very, very closely matched actually.
They
those
are.
two cars, so
60-footed.
60's pretty close. Yep. That's some people say there is no replacement for displacement, but that Audi might have it when it comes to chasing down that VE. So another well-matched pair. I don't know if the guys in the lanes are working this out tonight or what.
No, but they're doing a great job.
That's right. Here's this Volkswagen. Off the line. Geez, when it grabs that second gear, it's starting to boogie. But not to be overshadowed by the Golf in the Rocket lane, though. 1130 at 124, and the Golf goes through at a 1261 at 123.
Actually, when they left the line, I thought the V-Dub was actually going to start coming on really strong.
Yeah, I think it might have had a bit of a bog situation, might have fallen off the boil a little, possibly. Okay, blue on blue crime. We've got the Ford Focus XR5 Turbo in Aeroflow lane and the GC8 WRX in the Rocket lane. Both out of the hole. Looks like the XR5 might have the horsepower on the WRX, but WRX is still a lightweight vehicle these days, so we're going to see there 1357 at 109 for the Aeroflow lane, 1373 at 102 for the Rocket. Good run. All right. Pretty aggressive Holden Ute here in the Aeroflow lane. It's going to pull up next to the Dado.
Yeah, Commodore was nice, short, sharp burnout. Just enough to throw a bit of heat in the tyres, but not too much to make them greasy.
Exactly right, and that's a good point, isn't it, Mark? You know, if you're running a street tyre, just a regular tyre that you drive on every day, they really aren't designed to get super hot and a big, massive burnout. Yeah, it looks cool. We love it. We've got an entire event dedicated for that on tomorrow night, Tyre Thrashing Thursday, brought to you by Aeroflow Performance. But the tyres themselves don't really like it.
Yeah, there's no benefit.
Yep. So, all right, so here's this. This is what I thought was a Galant.
Oh,
Mark,
okay, it's the...
Is that a Galant?
No, it's not. It's
oh, no, it's a Mazda, isn't it? Isn't it RX-4.
Yes.
RX-4.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mazda enthusiasts. I'm sure I'm going to get crucified on the live stream for that one. Holy dooly. It was the badge. That sort of winged badge that threw me off. I saw it from a distance. I'm going to throw all of the commentator excuses out here. I don't have my glasses on. The sun was in my eyes. I'm not that familiar with the car. But nonetheless, it's got a turbo rotary in it, so...
It does indeed. Tell you what, it's got a big converter in it too.
Yeah, definitely left the line not quite on boost, so there's a lot more going on. And the red lights are on because Skippy was so excited by the RX-4, it had to get an up-close look. So
he's a rotary fan.
He must be, yeah. And why not?
That's because rotaries are cool.
Rotaries are cool, Stu, but more importantly, if it's fast, it's cool, I reckon.
Yep.
This next car that's coming out is a Mitsubishi Evo with a number plate Ford to haters. So
Skippy is heading off, hopefully in the right direction down there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that number plate has been around for a number of years. If my memory serves me correctly, I may be getting it confused with another car that I've heard of, but it's great to see Team Carrum. They've got 3 cars here tonight for Aeroflow Race for Real, which is fantastic to see that workshop well represented.
Mate, Joe and Fred have been busy. They've had cars coming out their ears lately. If they're not here, they're at roll racing. They're, they're building left, right, and centre. Their workshop's just down the road from our old office, and driving past every day, there was no shortage of cars hanging around there. So definitely got a lot going on in that workshop. So it'll be good to see them head down the track once we've just made sure that our little wildlife visitor is hopping on. Go and hang out at the reservoir, Skip. We don't need you here on the strip. Come on, mate. I think he's up near the fire shed, Mark, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just right at the, just on top near the fence, or he was.
Uh-huh.
No, coming back down along the fence again.
If anyone's watching the live stream and they're wondering where this racing is, I'm pretty sure it's quite obvious now because we've had to stop for a kangaroo.
Yeah, we've got a kangaroo trying to race the Tesla.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, while we just wait for Skip to sort himself out, Steve, I reckon we might pay a few bills and we might head it off to some sponsor videos, and we'll be right back after these.
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems, you can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
BikeReview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles. BikeReview.com.au is the only motorcycle-focused website to feature motorcycle drag racing on a regular basis. And in the words of editor Jeff Ware, our involvement with Sydney Dragway is our way of putting back into one of our favourite sports. BikeReview.com.au. Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to Para News. Para News is Parramatta and the Cumberland area's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. Para News really is the heartbeat of Parramatta and Cumberland, and it's out every Tuesday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area or check out paranews.com.au.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to us.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Whether you're building a street machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, X-Pro electrical systems, hoses and fittings, bang shift shifters, differential parts and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
All right. Seems like I think we're back from our wildlife break.
Yeah,
So,
yes indeed.
it's almost like they're scheduled every Wednesday night. We've got, okay, start racing at 6, 6:15 to 6:20. We've got a visit from Skippy. Hopefully no more. We appreciate that they enjoy drag racing.
Yes.
Just not so close to the track. That'd be great. If you can tell the rest of the mob, stay by the waterhole. That'd be great.
We might have to put some skippy seatings in.
Yeah.
A little caged area.
That's right. Kangaroo viewing location.
That's it.
All right, so one of the Team Karam Evos coming out now in the Aeroflow lane. We've got the little black S3 Audi in the Rocket lane. Let's see if the Evo can get away cleanly. It's always pretty exciting an Evo pass down the trackway when they're making some power. Usually about half track, things start to get pretty interesting.
There's a lot of steering going on.
Yeah. Well, that's well on the two-step. Oh, aggressive off the line, but maybe a bit too keen on the shift.
Yeah, I thought that was all about to happen then.
Yeah. That was about to be a big intro into the Wednesday night, I think. So.
But we do have the next round.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty more passes to come for that driver to get his head around the way the car launches, what it needs, how it feels.
Mate, lane 3, look at this fairly mint condition looking VN Commodore just rolling through.
That is right up your alley, mate. Looks like a first timer as well, Mark.
Yep.
So he's been hiding that VN in the garage.
As indeed.
For 30 years now. Has decided tonight's the night. I'm going to go down to Sydney Dragway, race for real.
And going to just
see what it's got. Yeah, we'll say that and we'll make fun, which is not very nice, but it'll pull up here and it's actually got like a stroke, a turbo motor in it, or something. It's going to run a 9.
Yep. And it wouldn't be the first time.
No, not at all. No, not at all. Yep. Never judge a book by its cover at Sydney Dragway. That's all right. So the new Supra A90 out to 1960 foot, leading the way for the Audi. It's going to cross an 11.44 at 126.
And 11.8, 116 for the Rocket lane.
Pretty consistent, that little Audi.
It is.
1.7s, 1.8s. It's going well.
Another Audi down here in the Aeroflow lane.
Ooh, test launch on the two-step. See if the Yaris can return fire, so to speak. All right, Audi out for a 179, 60 foot. It's almost too easy, isn't it?
They just sound so good on that. They just off the limiter or off the
little snap, crackle, pop.
Yep.
All right, 12.11 at 113 mile per hour for the Audi in the Aeroflow lane. This is a 13.51 at 103. Again, being consistent in the Yaris.
We've got the Falcon down here in the Aeroflow lane.
With a very self-explanatory number plate.
Yeah.
AFG 4-litre turbo is pretty much spot on.
Yep.
So for that one, so FG up against the Evo in, looks like possibly an Evo 8 MR.
Definitely doesn't leave anything to the imagination.
No. Yep. Maybe you got sick of people asking. All right, bit of a squirm off the line for the Falcon. Plenty of torque to deal with there from the Barra. It's going to head on down the strap. It is a pretty close one. We've got the Evo right alongside. Car's going to cross for a 14.16 at 106 versus a 14.39 at 100 in the Rocket lane. More to come from both cars, I dare say. Oh, here is a tidy VL.
Yes.
Mark, there's a
great little
turbo
badge on the boot lid.
Oh yeah, turbo. Is it a? It's got the pinstripe on the mouldings. Does that mean it's a Bellina? Normally. Oh, it's even got the. It's even got the. Well, no, it does have Venetians, but it's got the obligatory VL turbo lag.
Okay. Yep.
As well, boost loading in the burnout there, so a bit of
Mate,
bit of work to be had.
I can't answer your question about the mouldings. You know, they're striped if it's a Bellina or not. I think
yeah. I didn't see the front of the car, so I don't know if it's got Calais headlights. It's got the visors over the top.
Usually on the Calais they have the chrome insert that clips on the moulds.
Yep.
And all that stuff is just pure gold at the moment.
Oh, man. We've spoken about it before.
All right, guys, just a quick one at the moment. We do have a drone flying around. We don't allow drones in here. So if it is anyone here at the track, can you please just return it back to the car? Yeah, it's just a major hazard.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. It's a hazard. I think there's permits required for flying drones in, it is a government facility as well. So, I'm pretty sure there's no sort of state secrets kicking around here at Sydney Dragway, but the rules are the rules. We can't fly any drones unless there's prior arrangements made and permits allocated for it. So please keep that in mind. If you are flying a drone, please return it to wherever that home base may be, and do not fly it again here tonight. Thank you very much. All right, drone has been found, has been grounded. Let's get back to racing. Got the VL pulling into stage here in the Aeroflow lane. We've got the Corolla in the Rocket lane. Let's see if they can't make a nice pass. Corolla is off, nice and aggressive, out of the hole.
Wow, isn't it what?
Got a big pool of liquid on the start line, though, out of the VL.
Hey, not ideal, Stu.
Ooh. Mate, that's just so unlike a Holden.
Cue the comments from Ford people on on the streams.
That's all right. I just copped it from Will. I won't repeat what he said because he's a Ford supporter. But
Yeah. He should be used to it.
Well, yeah.
Sweating horsepower, Bushy. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep. Definitely not just holding together.
You can't repeat that one, can you?
He just said to me, he said the best part about an AU is that when it gets hot, you just keep driving and pull over at next servo.
Yeah, okay.
It's great because, look, at least it didn't go all the way down the track, so that's the main thing. So should be a relatively quick clean-up, and then we'll get the Falcon Ute out, and it's going to be taking on the VN Commodore.
Beautiful.
Great to see another first-timer out here this evening for Aeroflow Race for Real.
Spot on, Stu. We love every kind of competitor and vehicle that's going to turn up here at Race for Real, whether it's modern, classic, EV, if it's a Euro, if it's JDM, all of those things. Bring it on down, give it a go. See what the car's got. There's no safer or better place to get an actual benchmark.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other things that you can do, but it's pretty rare that you actually get that set time. So if you want to come out, you're going to run, you got whatever it might be that it runs, a 13:26. As soon as you get that ticket, I would challenge any racer not to have this same thought. I can go faster.
Yep.
I can do
100%.
better next time. Just about everyone. I know that's what I did the first time I came down the strip.
Yep.
I went, I know where I can go faster. And that's where the snowball begins.
Fellas, just going to do a quick interview with a gentleman of the drive of this beautiful looking VN Bellina. Hey, mate, what's your name?
My name's Jack, mate.
Mate, this car is one of the cleanest I've seen for a long time, mate. Credit to you.
Thank you very much.
How long have you owned it, mate?
Oh, about since March. Just chucked an exhaust on it, lowered it, and ready to fry them.
And the best part is you're having fun in it? You take it out cruising much?
Of course, mate. Vans are cruisers.
Beautiful, mate. Well, I might see you out in the streets one day when I'm out and about. What are you expecting to run tonight, or are you just going out to have a bit of fun?
Yeah, just having a go. I reckon I run 17s-ish. I reckon maybe around that.
Well, mate, just aim, go out there and have some fun, and welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real.
Cheers, mate. Have a good day.
There you are, boys. What a beautiful looking car.
Actually seen that one coming up towards the tunnel there, Stu, and it just looked so clean and tidy.
Well, especially that vintage mark, you know, most of them kind of end up usually on the burnout pad, and they tend to start to look a little bit tatty. But look, it's a credit to this driver, and you know, it's good to see the young guys and girls bringing their pride and joy out here to Sydney Dragway on a Wednesday night, getting it off the streets, doing it safely, and if anything, boys, probably realising, hey, I've got a classic car here, or soon to be classic. It's clean, it's tidy. Why wreck it? I've got something that somebody wants, and I've got it, and they're not having it.
Yeah, that's it. Mate, I've got 2 of them hiding in the garage, and exactly like you said, no one's getting them.
Okay, what was your address again, Mark?
Yeah. High Street, Penrith. It's just right next to the police station.
Okay, no worries. It's a pretty quiet place, that, you know.
Yeah.
There's not many people around. Yeah, no one's ever there. No, look, and you know, if it's one of those things where it's not, you know, if you don't want anyone else to have the car, who cares whether or not you want to sell it, whether you don't want to sell it? You know, like if you've got it and it's your thing, man, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's what it's all about. You if you build it or you just buy it straight, and you know, like, enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Not everyone has the time or perhaps the skills to build their own car.
Yep.
And that's perfectly fine. You know, I mean, that's how our industry of drag racing is built around workshops and, you know, providing those services. So as long as you've got it and you enjoy it, then let's bring it out here, see what it's got, give it a run down the strip, get it out on show, you know, bring it to roll drags if you're not keen on the launch, bring it to, you know, if you want to throw caution to the wind, bring it to Tyre Thrashing Thursday, do a 100%. Big smoky burnout, because that's going to get Stewie excited, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anything with an engine and 4 wheels, generally, or 2 wheels for that matter, gets me pretty excited. But as Pat and I were saying, though, Mark, just before the event started, you know, just an observation for myself, you know, since COVID, the amount of cars that are starting to come out here to Sydney Dragway, and, you know, for a while there, the scene was pretty quiet, to be fair. You know, both on the street and here at Race for Real. But if anything, it's picked up a lot in the last 4 months. And we don't see as many groups out anymore, well, not that I see, out cruising at night like there used to be. I know times are different now. It feels a little bit more expensive. But, you know, it's great to see a whole heap of people bring their pride and joy out here to Sydney Dragway and enjoy it.
Well, Stewie, a lot of the engine builders that I know that I spoke to, especially around COVID time, they were just so busy. They were absolutely flat out. And so many people, they couldn't go anywhere, they couldn't eat out and what they usually do. And they were just throwing money at big dollar motors and setups on their cars. So I think now we're reaping the benefits from that, because we're seeing these projects now that are finished and they're hitting the track, and it's great. And from what I've seen so far, it was money well spent.
And I think so too, particularly at this lower level. And Pat, you see this type of thing day in, day out, but I think at this level as well of drag racing or street cars in general, if anything, the scene's probably exploded a lot in the last 5-6 years. I mean, Power Cruise is one event that comes to mind. You can take your car out and have a little bit of fun. Aeroflow Race for Real, or Race for Real in general, that's been going on for a very long time here at Sydney Dragway. And of course, you know, you've got events like Summer Nats where you can take it out to the show. At this level, you know, the quality's improved, and look, we're seeing generations of generations starting to get back into the scene and bring the scene back to where it was, probably around the 2000s. I mean, that was the big year with the sex pack and so forth. Obviously, people aren't building sex pack anymore for obvious reasons. But look, from a performance point of view, you know, people are starting to venture out now. They're starting to go, well, you know what? I don't need a V8. I can go out and get myself a 4-cylinder and have a little bit of fun.
And you know what? You guys might have noticed it, or is it just me? But we're seeing a lot more females too jumping into these cars themselves, and mate, they're no slouch cars either. Like, You know, we've got some really quick cars going out there, and it's great to see the girls getting out here, having a go, and doing a great job of it.
That's exactly right, Mark. Yeah, there's plenty of ladies out here. We've got now actually one of our resident regulars, Sammy Jo Johnson, is out here on a regular basis. She's a national level cricketer.
Yeah.
She's a drag racing fan.
Yep.
She's now a Sydney Dragway official. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but she's wearing a blue shirt down the staging lanes, learning the ropes. So that's about as enthusiastic as you can get from someone who's enjoying racing.
100%.
You know, to come out and then be part of it. You know, that's a great thing. So, you know, there's all walks of life can come out and enjoy, you know, really any sport.
Yep.
But especially drag racing. You know, if you can drive a car,
yep,
you can get down the track. So,
and it's something the whole family can be involved in as well.
Yep.
You know, whether they're sitting up in the stands,
yep,
down in the pits helping, or steering it themselves.
Yeah, good reason to have kids. Need a pit crew.
Yes. Yep.
Not so helpful when they're real small, but you know you can train them from a young age.
Yeah.
Small hands get into engine bays a bit easier.
True.
Don't worry if they get burnt. They'll be right.
You just throw a little rag on their back and good polisher for
That's
the bonnet.
All of those things.
Yeah.
So you know you can never have too many pit crew members.
No, not at all.
That's always good. All right. Let's see what we've got here. We've got a bit of Ford versus Holden action. We've got the FG late model Ute versus the VN Bellina.
Yeah, that Ute's got a Precision Racing sticker on the back of it as well, so you know that the boys from them, Precision, have had a play with it, and they've got some pretty quick Falcons in their stable.
Yeah, I reckon that's pretty reasonable for an NA Barra down there, Stu. It's got along all right. The old VN goes through for a 16.48 at 82 mile per hour. That's a pretty healthy VN.
That is good, healthy VN, indeed. Yep. He was pretty much on the ball when he was saying, around the 17s.
Yep.
Yep.
Spot on. All right, next up in the lanes, we've got in the Aeroflow lane, GC8 WRX pulling into stage, and we've got the VZ Commodore by the looks of things in the Rocket lane. Oh, red light from the VZ. He's chasing that double O, mate. WRX gets away pretty tidy, 1.860 foot for the GC8, and it is romping on home. It's going to get to the stripe first for the 12.25 at 115 miles per hour to a 13.29 at 98 miles per hour for the Commodore. All right, so can definitely hear a bit of what I believe is LS turbocharged action.
Yep.
We know definitely Ollie in the VX Club Sport in the Rocket Lane. Fat One For You is running Turbo LS combo. I'm not familiar with the VRVS in the Aeroflow lane, but sounds very similar.
Yeah, he's got the 5 litre in the number plate, so...
Yeah, okay, could be.
How right it is?
164 for the VX in the Rocket Lane. That is going to tromp on for a nice time there. 10.24, 135 mile per hour, creeping up on it in the VX.
And 12.7, 113. Sorry, mate, I jumped on you.
No, that's okay, man. Yeah. I've been dropping the ball with the other lane tonight, and you've been picking it up, and then I finally decided to do my job, and you were already doing it for me. That was a good deal. All right, we've got the Holden versus Ford again.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Fat Commodore definitely got out of that hole. Nice and quick that time.
Found a bit of boost off the line, for sure. 164 60 foot is, that's pretty tidy for
it is indeed.
For an IRS full weight Commodore.
Yep. It actually really left the line well. It didn't do the big squat or nothing. It just nice and even out of there.
Came off nicely. I wonder if I didn't look close enough when it launched. I don't know whether or not he let the trans brake go or if it was still on the full brake for that one. So we'll I'm sure he'll be happy with the progress anyway from a 1080 to a 1020. That's a nice jump, and it's basically all in the 60.
Yep.
We've spoken about it before, Mark. Whatever the 60 is at the front end, usually you double it at the other end. So, and we saw that there previously. The car went a 1.9 60 foot.
Yep.
This time it was a 1.6. Previous ET was a 1080. This one was a 1020. So 3/10 at the front, 6/10 at the back.
Yep.
It's witchcraft. No one knows why that happens. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you go. It's always the case.
Oh, this should be a good pass.
This should be a good pass. So we've got Joe our regular. It wouldn't be Race for Real without Joe Sorbello.
No, not at all.
In the Nissan, in the Aeroflow lane. But a friendly welcome back to Mark from PSC Racing in the Toronto, which has had a bit of a hiatus for a couple of years there. So new combo, LS 88mm turbo,
wow.
6 litre I think still displacement on this one. So got a few revs on board, turbo 400, all the usual bits and pieces to make for a party.
I'll tell you what, we've got a fairly same combo out of the pair.
Yep. Nice bit of boost on board, a little bit of loss of traction off the line for Mark. Joe streaking off for a 924 at 145. Mark runs through an 873 at 163. Welcome back to Sydney Dragway, Mark, in the Toronto. Good on you, mate.
That's one way to stamp your authority, isn't it, boys?
Yeah, well, you know, just got to kick the dust off, get rid of the ring rust. It hasn't thinned down for a little while. So.
All right, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook or you're here at the track, guys, it's time to get your phones out because you've got the Evos out for a run. It is Pro Street time here at Aeroflow Race for Real. Only 2 litres from Team Karam Racing and Carbonetics helping out this beautiful looking Lancer. How good have these things been the last few weeks, boys? They have been turning it on here at Aeroflow Race for Real.
I'll tell you what, Stu, it is a bit of exciting watching these things. They are just a point and shoot.
So it's like lately when they've got a bit of horsepower on board, Mark, it's a point, shoot, then catch, then steer, and then grab another gear, and then shoot again. And it's definitely a bit of an adventure. Let's watch as only 2 litre goes across the halfway mark. They usually start to wiggle. Looks like the boys have got that chassis well sorted out. 994 at 151 mile per hour. Bit of a chuff on the back end. I dare say there's a precision turbo involved in that combination. It's usually a bit of a telltale.
It is indeed.
As they go across the line, so...
Look at the ET to the miles an hour.
Yeah, there's a little bit more going on there. So
yes, indeed.
But clear those 2 cars, and then we've got another couple of aggressive Evos lining up who have been regulars here recently at Wednesday night. We've got King 4G from Team Karam.
Yep.
And Baghdad from Mixed Motorsport back out again, dialing in the new combination. So they're starting to make some progress the last time out. Let's see if we can't... I think it's Wes that's driving that car, and he's been hanging on. I think there's been some white knuckles and some underwear spray tans happening. Perhaps, the way Baghdad has come out fighting him down the track. So let's see if we can't hang on to that. We've just got the track crew out in the big end, making sure that there wasn't anything more than just a little bit of excess oil flow from that turbo.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I've got a question for you.
Fire away, mate.
Mate, you're a former racer yourself in your beautiful-looking Tirana, but if you could, would you ride shotgun in one of these cars?
Oh, you bet. I definitely would be, mate.
Well, I reckon it would be very exciting down the second half of the racetrack, as Pat mentioned.
Yep, mate. If they've still got the panic straps inside of them, you'd be hanging on tight.
I think they need a sissy bar in there, just quietly. But no, it's great to see Mixed Motorsport and Team Karam here for Aeroflow Race for Real. Of course, the Osmonds turned it on at Midnight Mayhem. Let's see what these guys can do on our street prep.
Both cars going to bring it up on the 2-step. Let's build some boost. Baghdad out with a bit of a hop. King 4G, his aggressive launch is moving off past half track. Ooh, 135 mile per hour at a half. Had a bit of a wander in the big end there. Goes through for an 865 at 173. That is right where it needs to be. Boys. I've got a feeling that is a radial Evo record, gentlemen.
Hey guys, we're about to find out because I'm going for a run.
Head down, I can see high fives down there. I can see Vince Rigoli. I can see Joe. I can see Fred Karam. All of the boys seem pretty happy. What do they got, Stu?
Guys, we've got the boys down here, guys. You could...
There's got nothing else. It's it. We're going home. She's done.
Is that what you wanted?
Mate, let me tell you, that's the fastest radial Evo in the world just then. 865. It's got more in it, mate. Let's go.
Mate, well done, boys. Put your hands together for Team Karam, ladies and gentlemen. 865. That is huge. Darrell Eastlake, huge.
That is going to light a fire under all of the workshops in Sydney, Stu. So it's been hotly contested out here. We've got ERS, we've got Mix, we've got the guys from Elite Auto House, we've got Team Karam. Everyone is out here chasing that radial. Osmonds as well, obviously, it's just been pipped at the post. So, and it's a close battle as well, Mark. You know, we've seen 869, I think the King 4G was, Evo King from ERS. Tuned by Mixed Motorsports. Then the guys at Osmonds, I believe, went 868, so just under. And then the guys at Karam have just run through an 865 at 170 plus mile per hour.
But you know what's on top of that, Pat?
Yeah.
It wasn't on a race prepped track.
No, that's exactly right. You've just got the quality of the base track that Sydney Dragway has out here, like a billiard table.
Yes.
A little bit of a street prep. Some killer steering.
Yeah, great. It was a great drive.
It wasn't 400
Mark,
metres.
One thing I wanted to touch on too, boys, I don't know how well you saw it from up there, but that launch to the 30-foot, 60-foot mark was very, very soft. So potentially there could be a little bit more in it.
There's always more in a turbo car.
Yeah, there is.
There's always more. Just depends on what the head gasket wants to wants to deal with usually, but yeah, let's hope they can improve on that even further as the air gets a bit cooler.
Yes,
you know, the sun comes down. It's going to be great to see.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to see.
Well, if it did 865 in 420 metres,
yes.
I reckon it travelled down, down the strip on that one. Let's see what it can run at 400.
Yeah. We got a bit of a problem with the Mazda.
We're going to try and get a bit of a driver reaction if I can. I don't like my chances, but I'm going to try.
Just hang the leg out there, Stu. Show him a bit of skin. You'll get him to stop on the way back.
Well, I've got the blue shirt on, so I mean, hopefully, and the hat, so hopefully he won't miss me. But what a pass. And, you know, you nailed it in one there, Mark, when you said, this is only a street prep. It is not a radial prep. It is not a race prep. This is a street prep. And to do what they just did, you boys have been around this scene a lot longer than I have. And I can tell you that was amazing. I don't know how it looked for you guys, because you guys have been around the sport a lot longer than me. You know your racing. You know probably more of the ins and outs than I do. But I know you guys must have been impressed with that.
Yeah, Stu, from up here where we were watching, it was sensational.
You know what else is sensational, Mark? That Falcon Ute just went down the strip at
Well,
1083.
I've got the car coming up the return road.
With a passenger.
Right now.
Stewie, grab him, get a reaction.
I'm right here to try and get the reaction here. Brother, do you know what you just ran?
World record pass or what?
865! Yeah, boy! Team Karam, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Team Karam.
Congrats, guys. And if you didn't see that pass or you weren't tuned in, you can go back on the live stream.
Yes. Yep.
We did have that pass on the way down. Big congrats again to those guys. Let's see what else they've got for the rest of the night.
So this track is just amazing. You know, like it's just unbelievable. They're breaking records here all the time.
And can I just say on that point too, Mark, you're talking about the track prep. Jeff Patterson and Kyle, who are our track coordinators here at the track, they spend a lot of time on this track week in, week out. And there is a reason why this track is one of the best, if not the best in the country. Those boys put a hell of a lot of effort into this track, and it's an absolute credit to them.
Yeah, 100%, Stu. The professionalism of these guys, they know the track inside and out, and they just get it to perfection.
And not to take anything away from the teams that are prepping these cars too.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
exactly.
there's a lot of
the
time. You know, we've seen plenty of times where people might go out and they, you know, the car doesn't do what they want it to do, and they go, track's rubbish, track's rubbish.
Yeah,
but then you'll have a car that's basically the same, go out there and do
Yes.
what it's supposed to do. There's definitely something to be said. You know, it's relatively easy to make power.
Yep.
But getting it to the ground, getting the suspension to work right, you know, having the right sort of tyre and wheel combination, you know, all of those sorts of things, it makes a big, big difference.
Yep. Yeah, it does indeed. And, you know, like when you're building a car, you know yourself, you know, like you consult the right people.
Yep. Do a bit of research.
Yep.
Yep.
The people that have done this and done it for a long time, and you'll get the right information or the right type of work.
Yep.
And things will work for you. So it's not you get the car finished and then you got to try and overgo all these hurdles that someone hasn't done the right thing by you.
Well, yeah, and there's only so much that you can get from, you know, you'll get some advice from, you might be on a forum or, you know, on a Facebook group or something like that. You know, you might speak to friends and they're like, hey, you should do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. But you still got to come out and test.
Yes.
You know, and there's nothing, you can't just call up a shop and go, what do I need to do? What the guys at Team Cram just did.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they've been chasing that record for months. Here's our favourite E30 with the Turbo K series. On board. Sorry, I'll just pause. It goes through 1161, 131 miles per hour. That's probably about 50 miles per hour faster than an E30 ever went from the factory.
It did indeed.
But, yeah, you know, there's only so much that you can do with the car before you have to come out here and test it, see what it runs, okay, see where I can improve. Is 60 the problem? Is the back end of the track a problem? Et cetera, et cetera. And then, like we explained before, with that 60-foot improvement, it's a big gain at the top end of the track. So getting the car to work out of the hole, that's where, you know, the difference sort of comes in. So, yeah, definitely a lot to it. The track, we know the track's great, but bringing the whole combination together to get it to work together, excellent. That is a healthy burnout.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. One of these guys, like we've seen him here at the roll drags a fair bit. One of them been taking a fair bit of data out of that, and it's been helping them with where they are now.
I think there's definitely some data to come from roll drags that can be carried over into traditional drag racing, Mark, because generally when it comes to roll drags, they're throwing a lot of power a little sooner because you're not so worried about maybe breaking something off the line or whatnot. So you're going to get on a roll, you're going to throw all of the power at it as soon as you can. And that's going to give you a lot of info about the chassis. So how it reacts when that power comes on, you know, as we've seen, Evos are generally doing 420 metre passes rather than 400 metre passes because they've got that all-wheel drive system. And, you know, big horsepower Subarus are the same. We've seen Lee from Deshelle out here fighting that WRX of his all over the place when it's making 45 pounds a boost or something like that at half track. So roll racing would give you a bit of info. Okay, maybe we need to look at some alignment settings. Maybe we need to look at some spring and shock settings, you know, to tame the vehicle down in the, you know, when it's trying to put all that horsepower down. So absolutely there's a crossover between the two.
Well, not a bad pairing of those two cars. 13.5, 100 miles an hour to a 13.3 at 107 miles an hour. I must say, I don't mind the black in that.
Was that another GR Yaris?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so a pair of them there. I think the white one in the Aeroflow lane run a PB, 13.3. I think it's run a 13.5 before, so there's definitely bragging rights going on between that pair.
Yeah, I reckon there's a little prize somewhere on being bet on this one. Nice little bottle of Johnny's Finest or something.
Right. That Commodore Ute doesn't sound like a normal Commodore Ute, no.
It doesn't, no. And I think we've seen this car out here a few times.
Possibly some inline six-cylinder action rather than some V six-cylinder action. A bit of a healthy dose of boost on the side.
Definitely got a bit of boost there. Might be a lot of boost.
Yeah, well, he's hoping. I like it.
Yeah. Why go a little bit when you can go a real lot?
Yeah, yeah. It's only head studs and,
Yeah.
you know, gaskets. Doesn't matter.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, mate.
There's a really nice looking VL Calais that's just about to come out behind that Holden Bellina that young guys driving.
Yep.
Number plate ID 053. This thing is very, very nice. Brother, how long have you owned this for?
About a year.
This is nice, man.
Cheers.
Is this your first time out in the car racing?
First time.
We'll go out and have some fun, man. That is beautiful. What do you see this, Mark? It's got Venetians in the back, just like the VN, but it's got a very nice looking body kit on it as well.
It's just a must. You've got to have Venetians in there somewhere.
And it's got sportsman radials on the back of it too, or street radials, I should say. So, yeah, can't wait to see this thing hit the track. Now, also, we got Eden down here from Area 51, Custom Performance. Now, he's not racing his normal Luxo barge tonight. He's racing a customer's car. What's going on, brother?
How are you, mate?
Mate, it's good to see you here. Bit different seeing you not in your Luxo barge, but, mate, you're doing a bit of tuning with this car. How was your first pass?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Straight out of the box, 12.7. It's only just had a freshen up and a new cam job, but other than that, it's very mild. It's nothing overboard, eh? But the owner doesn't want to come down and drive it himself. He says, go for a run, take it for a hit.
Well, that's the way to do it, mate. And it's, look, you're turning your hand now at a few cars and you're starting to get your name out there. People are now starting to see what you can do. Mate, it's an exciting times ahead for Area 51 Custom Performance.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things coming on. We've got a couple of new projects coming up for next year, so we'll keep everybody posted on that for sure.
It's going to be awesome. Go out and have some fun, Eden. Back to you boys upstairs.
Thanks there, Stu.
All right, now I didn't see what that car is in the rocket lane, mate.
Is it the Mustang-shaped Celica?
I was going to say maybe a
Yeah.
Celica. It looks like it's got a bit of a Mustang sort of treatment on the back of it, like a fastback sort of deal happening there. So,
but it's pretty quick, 11.5 at 102 miles an hour.
That was a big back off.
It was.
Yeah. so yeah, definitely some more in store for that one. All right, we've got our GC8 WRX back out here again. It's been going rounds tonight. And we've got this late model M3, which has been here a few times. It's got those red wheels on it. I think this thing's run low 11s, but looking like it's going to start with a 10, maybe.
Definitely hooks up well off the line. 167, 60 foot.
1086 at 124, very nice. To
Great pass.
1243, 117 for the GC8. It almost wouldn't be a Wednesday night race for real if there wasn't a late model BMW run to 10 these days. Right, good bit of enthusiasm from the VM Bellina down there. Solid burnout.
We got a bit on our board here. We've got the Gem Racing talking about a little Gemini. PB'd at 9.2 at 143 miles an hour.
Oof.
All right, so that's Eden out there in the rocket lane in one of his customer cars, naturally aspirated, and just doing a little bit of tuning and just testing it, and goes 1274 at 111.
Pretty tidy pass from Eden there, Stu, and another tidy pass for the VN. Spot on the money, 1648 at 83 mile per hour, I think it was, 86.
He's found it. He can become bracket racing.
Yeah, that's spot on. Can bring it out to...
yeah, that is a little sleeker.
Track Championship, yep. Yep, very cool. Let's hope he can run a clean pass, because that looked like it was on its way to a 10. The mighty AU pulling up for a single pass here.
Quick little turn of the tyres.
Right, so back into Holden on Holden action. We've got the green Maloo Ute, which we've seen quite a bit here. It's an Area 51 tuning car. I think the black car may be also... Black sedan might also be tuned by Eden, I think. Possibly.
Okay.
Might be wrong there. But either way, both into full stage. Let's see what they can reel off.
This is second of the area, 51 custom performance customer cars. Of course, this ute gets out here a fair bit. I did tell the driver he's not to put it on the burnout pad again, Mark. I told him.
Okay.
I said, that's it. You've done it once, you're not doing it again.
I think that's a good move, Stu. So is that the single turbo ute?
I think so. I know he's got two utes. He's got a red one as well, which does come out. That's the turbo motor.
Yep.
I believe that one might be. But I haven't seen that car for a little while. Last time I was down at the workshop just for a bit of a look, the car wasn't there, so I didn't actually get a chance to look under the bonnet.
Right, very eager in the rocket lane. The blue VZ Commodore offer a 176 60 foot, great 60 foot time. It's going to go through for an ET of a 12.09, 113.
And the ute 13.5 at 111 miles an hour.
Not bad. That blue sedan is knocking on the door of an 11.
Yes.
With that 60 foot's pretty good. So hopefully you can reel off a PB. Here you go, mighty AU Falcon versus a Tesla.
Yeah.
Is that I think that's a Model 3. I think. Still usually pretty spicy off the line. It is showing the tail lights to that AU. Don't tell Will too much. Is that a front row seat of that?
Just got beaten by an ever-ready battery.
Yeah. Come on. 12.11 at 113 mile per hour for the Tesla, otherwise known as an ever-ready battery. In the rocket lane to a 14.0 at 104 for the AU.
It's great to see the P plate on the back.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the place to get all of that action out of your system. So you want to do a burnout, you want to hold your car flat out.
Yes.
Sydney Dragway is the place to do it. So I invite everyone that's basically got a Australia's driver's license. So
yeah,
or has held one at one point.
Yep. And it comes with a warning. It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, boys, for this VL. Looks like it's got a little bit of an ignition issue, so they've got to take it back to the pits and put a multimeter on it and see if they can get this thing started. But they got the bonnet up, and it's got some pretty serious stuff underneath that hood. So look forward. Hopefully, you can get that car up and running, and we'll see that turbo VL make its way out.
What are we talking down there, mate? Is it still a single cam RB, or is it got a twin cam in it?
I'm not sure if it's a twin cam. I've got a sneaky suspicion it's actually a V8.
Oh, it's got a V8 in it, does it?
But yeah, it's got a dirty big turbo sitting on the left side of the motor.
Beautiful.
Or the right side of the motor, sorry, which way you're looking at it. But yeah, hopefully the guys can get that all fixed up.
Yeah, definitely. We want to see that one come back out when the weather turns good for turbos.
Actually, it might be an RB, come to think of it. I'm just looking at this white Commodore behind it with the bonnet up. It might actually be a Nissan motor.
Well, the blue Commodore in the Aeroflow lane. Well and truly out in front. 12.9, 109 miles an hour to a 13.4 at 106 miles an hour.
Well, guys, I can see an R35 GTR just waiting to go into scrutineering, so it shouldn't be too far before we have the modern-day Godzilla make its way out for a run, which would be fantastic to see.
Speaking of modern performance, Stu, we've got a couple more Euros coming up to the line now, so it looks like another late model, a G80 M3 in the Aeroflow lane. Great sort of matte gunmetal finish to it. Unfortunately, it's just bumped through the lights, but that's all right. We'll give him plenty of time to get all the way back.
We've got no holding him back in the burnout, was there?
Yeah, no, definitely had all of the traction controls off for the burnout. And we've got a nice Mercedes SUV, looks like maybe an AMG version. Can't quite see the exact badge, but we know anything AMG is usually pretty quick. So
yes, yep.
We've got German on German here, Mercedes versus BMW. Let's see who can get out of the hole and cross the line first.
A couple of years ago, I dealt with some of the guys down in Mercedes in Sydney, where the AMG only vehicles are. We had a car that blew a head gasket, and they were saying because the tolerance is so fine on those AMGs, they won't rebuild them.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Just put a whole new long motor in it.
Well, boys, we've got Baghdad that is just coming through the tunnel.
Okay, good to see. Mixed car coming through, Stu.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, that's the only Pro Street Evo that we've got in line at the moment.
Well, that's all right. I'm pretty sure the boys at Karama probably back at the pits going over a bit of data and hitting the page up button, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, the Maloo, 10.4, 134 miles an hour to 14.1, 107 miles an hour.
That's very nice. Very nice indeed. So a little bit of extra aspiration in that engine bay for that one. It's good to see. Another new A90 Supra down here. So it's B58 platform, and from memory, it's an 8-speed. I think it's a ZF 8-speed in these cars. I'm sure someone will pick me up on it, but yeah, definitely a very nice combination with that BMW technology lending itself to the Supra. But let's see if Baghdad can get away cleanly here. He's leaning on it. 1.8 into 60 foot. He's going to start pouring some power on as it heads down the track. Looks fairly straight with a bit of a wobble past 3/4. 9.36 at 173 miles per hour. So there's the shot across the bow with 173 mile per hour. There's definitely plenty more in Baghdad. Let's get it out of the hole a little bit harder. 187 is not bad considering what they have been doing with that car.
Yep.
But you know, if we just sneak a couple more tenths off and then a little bit more boost down the track. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Well, I've got to say, boys, it was great to see Dado back again this week too. This beautiful looking Datsun 1600. This thing is gorgeous. He's going to be taking on the RX4, which is sounding nice down here on the start line.
Yeah, let's see if they can't get a bit of boost on board when it leaves the line this time, Stu. It's healthy burnout.
Yeah, definitely a lot stronger in the burnout. I'd like to see him get this car down here because it's showing all the signs that there's plenty there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This little 1600 or 510, whichever you prefer, in the Aeroflow lane has made quite a few passes tonight, so nice to see well-built, consistent car making a few laps. We found a two-step in the RX4, so it's away at 154, 60 foot. Might have had a bit of limiter, I think, there possibly.
Yeah, and off it.
Yeah.
Off real early.
Off it well before the 1,000 foot mark, so still crossed through a 12.31 at 64 mile per hour.
Yep.
So it looks like they're getting their head around things there.
And we've got the X. XW Ute. Great burnout.
It's killer burnout. This is the one that went 1083 before with a passenger on board.
Yep.
So that's right, folks. You can bring your mate to Sydney Dragway on a race for real. Come down, buy an entry ticket. When you're in the scrutineering shed, you can buy a passenger ticket as well, and you can jump in your mate's car.
Yep.
You know, one ticket, one car. And you can run a pass. Basically, the cutoff for passenger rides is anything that goes down to a 1050. Yep. So you make sure you head on down with some long pants, enclosed shoes, long sleeve shirt, and a helmet. You can jump on board and go for a ride. Maybe you don't have your own car, but your mate's got a killer one, now's the time he can safely take you for a spin. Well, let's see, that Falcon is out for a 158, 60 foot, which is nice and clean. Sounded healthy down the track. Let's see what it runs in the ET. 1087 at 123 mile per hour. Nice and consistent, backing up that 1083 from earlier.
Great to see Queen 2R back again this week. Getting a little bit more testing in her Honda.
Yep, little turbocharged K-Series DC5 down there. Let's see if we can't get the launch figured out. Ooh, yeah. There's the torque steer. Yeah. All right. Hang on to it. Let's see what the mile per hour is on the back end of this thing. 131 mile per hour. So, yeah. Turbo K Series. It's always pretty well a good solution if you're missing a bit of mile per hour in your life. It's,
yep, and you need a bit of excitement.
Yeah. If you want your forearms to get a workout, you know.
Yeah, flick the gym, just come racing.
That's it.
Well, we've got the K-Series BMW back again this week as well. It'll be coming out next after this Audi in the Aeroflow lane.
Yeah, I really want to see this E30 get like a really nice sort of first to second gear change. I think it's been a little bit of a struggle just getting it out of the hole. Once it's down the track a little bit further, it should really be pulling its way home.
Tell you what, it has no problems carrying a bit of rev.
Nah.
Plenty of RPM.
All
there.
of the RPM, please.
I'll tell you what, boys, this Focus XR5 doesn't sound too bad either, just quietly.
Yeah, it's got that unmistakable 5-cylinder engine note to it. Let's see what they can both reel off down the strip here. That is a nice 1-2 shift. Let's see what it can reel off in the ET. Aeroflow lane goes through for an 11.0 with an 8 at 133 mile per hour. It is knocking on the door of a 10-second pass with a very respectable 13.34 at 106 for the XR5 in the Rocket lane.
All right, the S15, the Spec R as well. About to come out up against Jet 203. It's a very nice looking XR6 Falcon.
All right, aggressive on the shift from the S15. Looks like it's going to lead the Falcon home down there in the Aeroflow lane. It's going to cross for a 12.93 at 111 mile per hour, and the Falcon at 15.007. 94 miles per hour.
Not a bad pass at all for that car.
Yep. All right. Battle of the Ford versus Holden 6-cylinders.
Oh, don't know, boys. We've got a bit of a Honda resurgence happening here at Aeroflow Race for Real. We've got another couple of Hondas that are about to come out after this Commodore and the Falcon. It's great to see.
Yeah, it is good to see, Stu. These Hondas, a little bit of work, they do actually really come alive.
Spot on, Mark. I mean, you know, once they introduced the K series, not to take away from the traditional B series, which was sort of the original, well, not the original, but the one that everyone knew of, the VTEC, quiet, really loud sort of VTEC system. But when they went over to this K series, it really just it sort of spun the import engine scene on its head, because they're just so efficient. You know, whether you're a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, or an 8-cylinder guy, you've got to sort of just have a look at what they can achieve with 2 litres or 2.4 litres in these Ks, especially once you throw a bit of boost at them. They're very impressive. You know, there's guys running in the 8s in the US with naturally aspirated but a 50-50 nitro mix on these things. So, you know, they're a very impressive combination. But, you know, the beauty is you can come out here, you can thrash it, you can go to the track, you can thrash it, you can have a great time, and you can drive it to work, and it's still going to cost you as, you know, as little as an economic 4-cylinder will to daily. So
yeah, they're a lot like the Barras.
Yep.
Yeah, like in that formula of, you know, they're
it'll do
not
it
a
all.
lot of work to produce heaps of horsepower, but they still have a really good drivability.
Yes. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. They're sort of not just a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Well, I think the next car that will be the next tuner car very, very soon will be these new Supras that are starting to come out. I was watching a YouTube video during the week, and there was a gentleman that was comparing the Toyota compared to the BMW. It was interesting, some of the comments stating that he'd rather go to Supra than its BMW equivalent, which was quite interesting. There are a few more of these getting around. As yet, I haven't seen a manual one. Most of them are all autos. But, you know, we know how quick they are here at Sydney Dragway in stock form. And I don't think it'll be too much longer, boys, before we start seeing maybe a workshop like Precision, or maybe even Gas Motorsport to that degree. Maybe start to get one and start to have a play with it.
Stu, I could see one with a 2J in it.
How dare you? I think it was done as soon as it was released, to be honest, because no one knew how to tune them when they first came out, so they went, let's just pull this out and put a 2J in it. That fixed it. But, yeah, this one's definitely got a bit of a tune-up in it. Out of the hole pretty quick. 188, 60 foot. The VL has found its boost as well, so this is going to give chase. Supra's going to cross the line at 11:46, 125 mile per hour, which is a very respectable time.
Oh, that's Commodore.
VL at 12, we're at 130. A little bit more testing and tuning there, and yeah, I think we'll see some very different numbers on the board there. Stu, I think you're right in regards to the Supra, though, mate. There's a lot of potential happening there. There's, you know, definitely individual classes in the US in drag racing events. They've got the new A90 classes because it is such an emerging platform. So yeah, we can't wait to see a little bit more work getting done to that B58 platform here in Australia. Beautiful, 1164 at 131 mile per hour for the Corolla in the Rocket Lane to an 1123 at 131.97 for the Aeroflow lane.
I think the reason why I said that too, and I mean, you know, when the GR Yaris came out, you know, the amount of research and development by numerous workshops that went around to getting those cars down into the tens. You know, with the Supra, I guess that's the next logical platform that Toyota-wise that they could work on.
Yeah, look, I mean, and there's a lot of R&D that goes into not just making the power, because that's generally fairly easy. You can do that straight off the bat, but keeping drivability, keeping the functions in the car if it's a street car, but also making them live. You know, a lot of modern engines, particularly Euro engines, which that's what the Supra B58 engine is, it's a BMW, they're usually on that much higher level of tune from the factory.
Yes, yeah.
You know, they're a little closer to, you know, okay, you can turn the wick up a little bit, but things are going to start to get a little bit unhappy. You run out of fuel system. A lot of direct injection applications now. You know, the injectors you can't easily change out for an upgraded one.
Yep.
So then you've got to look at an intake manifold that's got some port injection. You can run traditional, you know, Bosch style injectors or whatever it might be in there. So yeah, it's not an easy, let's just turn the wick up.
Yes.
Necessarily. But speaking of turn the wick up, this wagon in the Aeroflow lane, the Eurowork guys up in the Hills district are always well known for turning said wick up. So don't be surprised if you see this BMW wagon after it's dropped the kids off at school and done the shopping, run a 10.
Mum needs to get home real quick.
Absolutely. There's things to be done.
Yeah.
Nice and aggressive. 160, 60 foot, which is not something you will see out of a BMW wagon every day of the week until these become a bit more popular. 1076, 125 mile per hour. That is the ultimate family wagon.
That is indeed, yep. They get you to McDonald's quick, smart. And 13.5, 107 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane. We might go up to the big screen and take a little bit of a break, and we will be back very, very shortly. Here, Aeroflow, race for real.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird,
Oh, that's fun.
the Combi for when we want to get away, the XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
I've chosen to use VP Racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now. I just have a really personal trust with VP Racing fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up the knot, a lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP Racing fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent, it's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bang shift shifters from Aeroflow Performance are truly the modern shifter for the modern age. Featuring a full bespoke billet case, all shifters are designed for right-hand drive vehicles with an LED lit gear position indicator. Available in either ratchet or gated options, as well as OEM replacement shifters for popular Holden and Ford vehicles. A large range of Bang shift spares are available for each shifter that includes shifter cables, brackets, lever and gate kits, trans brake buttons and drop boxes for the ideal mounting solution. Shift into gear and check out a full listing at aeroflowperformance.com.
How would it be if we funded a pilot program for you to run that enabled you to bring some vision impaired kids onto the Saints Play program?
Oh wow, that would mean the world. My reward is the smile on the kids' faces.
And since you've given so much to others, we'd also like to do something for you personally. How would it feel if Pepper sent you, your partner, and your daughter Molly to the Gold Coast for a few days?
Yeah, awesome. I don't know what to say. It amazes me. Thank you very much.
Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to the Western Weekender. The Western Weekender is Penrith's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. The Western Weekender is the heartbeat of Penrith and it's out every Thursday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area, home delivered, or check out westernweekender.com.au.
Boosted turbochargers from Aeroflow Performance are designed for the automotive enthusiast who wants optimal performance at a competitive price. We have a range of turbochargers in both ceramic ball bearing and 360-degree journal bearing options to suit your power goals from 200 up to 3,000 horsepower. To help turbocharge your vehicle, Aeroflow Performance also have a large range of turbocharger accessories. From steam pipe turbo manifolds, external wastegates, and intake and exhaust solutions, you can have your car boosted in no time. For a full listing, check out aeroflowperformance.com.
All right, here we are back at Race for Real this evening. We've got a VL Commodore is running off. Whoa, it is moving around down the track there. So they found a bit of power. They got the ignition problem solved.
Yeah,
I tell you what else found a bit of power is that Celica in the Aeroflow lane, Mark.
Yep, it did indeed. It just left the line and then just, it was everything.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, 181, 60 foot, was on its way, 110 mile per hour at the 8th. Okay, got this crinky NA VZ in the Aeroflow lane. Knocking on the door of 11s just before. Let's see if they can't improve that in that 12.0.
So, boys, just a bit of info.
Yep.
I've been off mic. I was just having a quick chat with Queen 2R and her boyfriend or tuner that's out there. Interesting, that Integra that she's driving, obviously it is a totally different combination, as we know, boys, but it's actually got a wider tyre on it, they were telling me as well. And at the moment, they're only running that car on very low boost. So I've been told by the tuner that until she gets used to it, because it is a manually shifted car, they're not going to turn it up until she's comfortable. So potentially, with what's in it in the future, if they can get it, they're possibly a low 10 in that car, which is pretty impressive for the style of car that it is. Obviously, it's a multi-use vehicle. It's not just for drag racing. It's used for other forms of motorsport as well, and street cruising. So, you know, that's one to keep an eye on.
Well, Stu, you remember that car when before the motor decided to part company, that thing was roughly around the 140 miles an hour mark.
Well, this motor that's in it is, by the sound of it, Mark, is actually bigger than the previous one. And it should be running a lot quicker than what the old one was. As a matter of fact, that car tonight, it already gone 130 miles an hour. They just told me the old car, they never went 130. So they're already ahead at the moment. It's just getting used to driving it.
Okay, I thought that thing got up to the 140s, but yeah, it could have been wrong. But I tell you what, they're doing the right thing, just easing her into it.
Spot on, and this is the perfect place to do it as well,
Yes.
mate. You know, I mean, Wednesday night, there's no pressure. You've got plenty of runs because, you know, we always turn the cars around pretty quick here at Race for Real, so they can get onto it. All right, here's some bit of an interesting matchup. We've got the Calais Kids VX, bit of turning the tyres coming off the line, 184 60 foot, so it's down a little bit there. The R35 goes off for a 1760. Ollie through for a 1058 at 135, and the 35 cruising onto an 11.0 with an 8 at 125 mile per hour.
Now, boys, we just had a Honda Civic going through scrutineering as well that's got a parachute on the back of it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully you won't be too far away from seeing that make its way out as well. Baghdad is out the back as well. It's just got a little drops of oil that are coming out of it, so they're in the process of just trying to get that fixed up at the moment, and then we will see Baghdad out very, very soon. Looks like the driver is actually strapping into that car now.
See, Mark, it's not just Holdens that sweat horsepower. Evos do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to be fair, Mark, it's not a Ford.
Wow.
Now, of course, tonight, one thing I wanted to touch on, if you're watching via the live stream tonight, Benji, unfortunately, isn't on the wheels tonight. We've got the Bushman up in the studio tonight. So he's doing a fantastic job up there, bringing you all the pictures and all the audio from here at Sydney Dragway.
Yeah, we'll let him come back, I reckon, Stu. He's doing all right tonight.
Yeah.
All right, as we see Tesla run off for a 12.20 at 112 mile per hour in the Aeroflow lane to a 13.72 at 104 for the VF Motorsport Edition in the Rocket Lane.
Tesla has just been round 12.1, 12.2,
Yep.
12.1, 12.2.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Well, batteries are pretty consistent.
They
though,
are.
You know?
Yep.
When I turn my flashlight on, it turns on, and then when I turn it off, it turns off, and then I turn it on again, and it turns on. You know, it's always pretty consistent until it's dead.
Until it just doesn't turn on anymore.
Nothing. Yeah.
Then you throw it in the bin by another one.
Boys, I wanted to touch on too. I was talking with Dave Muscat downstairs, and Dave was saying to me, boys, that the track tonight is just unbelievable. He said, look, I know I'm only driving a Mini, but he said, mate, I am hooking up tonight. So to all our racers that are out the back, I mean, our track prep here is second to none anyway at the best of times, but from what I hear from downstairs through the lanes, it's extra good.
Yeah, spot on, Stu. I mean, the track crew are doing a killer job as always here at Sydney Dragway. The weather has, you know, it's pretty well spot on.
It is,
you know,
yes.
it's been nice and warm today, not too hot, but the track's got plenty of sun, plenty of UV, so there's a nice bit of temperature in the track itself. It's cooled off now. You know, we don't have too much cloud cover, so the temperature is going to drop, which is going to be great for all those, you know, turbo and supercharged cars out there, but any car generally is going to love a bit of cold air.
Yep.
So let's see what this Maloo can do this time round. It comes off the back of running a 10.8. It is out of the hole at a 161, 60 foot, leading the way down the track from the BMW in the Rocket Lane. Let's see, 105 at the 8th, 10.34 at 135 mile per hour for the Aeroflow, and a 12.62 at 120 in the Rocket Lane for the BMW.
All right, we've got this Mercedes coming out now with a bullet number plates. And it's got a big set of radials on the rear end of it as well, boys, so it means business.
Yeah, we can see that from here, Stu, the big tyres on it.
That is the most aggressive AMG I think I've ever heard in the burnout box there, so let's see if it can get out of the hole.
Well, Sydney Performance Centre behind this one.
Gently off the line, still runs a 196, but it is screaming out the back door. Let's see, 1089 at 134. That is not your average C-Class coupe, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, but I love the gear change on those things.
Yeah, super aggressive. Right, so we've got our A90 Super back out here, and only 2 litre from the Team Karam stable. See if they can't improve on the last outing. Pretty sure I saw a little bit of a spray of Rexona when it was just on the other side of the tunnel there. So we're going to get a bit of nitrous to bring the boost on board.
It's a little spray to clean its throat.
Yeah. Right, there we are. It's aggressive out of the hole. Second, third gear. Goes through half track. It is now leading the way for that Supra. 916 at 162 mile per hour, and a very respectable 1127 for the modern Supra at 125 miles per hour. So
that was a very good pass.
That Supra is that's a nice combination.
It is.
It's a nice combination. It looks like it might have left a little bit of something on the line there. I wonder if it's got its AC on.
For those people that are new to drag racing, boys, you were talking about nitrous, in particularly these cars. Whereabouts would you put the nitrous into the engine on a pass like that? Would you do it halfway down the track, or would you do it more towards the start?
Well, it's definitely combination dependent, Stu. You know, I mean, a lot of the time when you've got a big turbo on a small capacity engine, like what a lot of these Evos have, we'll just let Joe sing the sound of our people with his burnout there in the Aeroflow lane. But yeah, often small capacity engine, large turbocharger, it's difficult to get the turbo to wick up and spool off the line. Even with a two-step, you know, you find that you don't want, say, 7,000 RPM as your two-step point, because that's going to put a lot of load on the drivetrain when you step off the clutch. So you might bring the two-step, the limiter down a little bit, and then throw a little bit of nitrous at the engine to increase the amount of oxygen and fuel that the motor can consume at that RPM, and that's going to bring a little bit of extra load, and it's going to increase the boost pressure off the line. So I would say definitely off the line to get the turbo spooled, and then a lot of these combinations, if they are reaching sort of the limit of what the turbo can flow, they'll throw a bit of nitrous down the track just to squeeze that extra bit of air in, and overcome the compressor wheel basically. You can't compress any more air, so they're going to just jam it in, in a liquid form, well, in a gaseous form. Via the nitrous. So definitely more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to delivering nitrous in those turbocharged combinations. Whereas if it's an NA, you're probably going to spray it from the get-go all the way home until the bottle's empty, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you're going 1 kit, 2 kids,
yep,
3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah,
is there more?
4.
Is there pressure in the bottle still? All right. A little bit more fact finding for Queen 2 litre down there. 1258, 134 mile per hour. Good, strong mile per hour from that little Honda combination to a 1567 89 in the Aeroflow lane. Here's about as different combination as you can get, Mark.
Yes.
Classic Ford Falcon Ute.
Sounds so healthy in the burnout.
Yeah, it is. That is a snappy little engine, that thing. Or not so little engine, as it were. And then we've got the BMW hatch, 1 Series in the rocket lane. Bit of turbocharged action happening there. Another 156, 60 foot for the Falcon Ute in the Aeroflow lane. Goes on to a 1090 at 122, 2 up.
The sound of that motor reminds me a lot when Joe Geary had the 302 in his Capri.
Yeah,
It was a real small cube, but real revvy.
Get some RPM on board. Yep. That's good. That little BMW is a respectable 1355 as well. That's a quick street car.
Yep. We got the Ford up against
I'll tell you
the
what, Mark.
Audi. Yeah, mate.
I've been calling Race for Real for 11 years, and I swear, mate, I never get sick of it. Never get sick of it. I'll tell you what, I swear it gets more exciting every year that we do it down here.
Yeah, I do agree with that, Stu. So many, new models come out, new combinations come out. It's always evolving.
I just can't believe, I'm astounded by tonight. And, Pat, you touched on it earlier with, the amount of cars that are coming out of workshops and being built. But, you stand down here in the staging lanes and you look at the cars that are down here. There's everything from American muscle to Australian performance, JDM, Euro. It is sensational down here at the moment, and it's a credit to every single person that is out here racing tonight, and it is part of what we call Aeroflow Race for Real.
Yeah, you're right, Stu, absolutely. And there's plenty of new cars, there's plenty of new technology, but there's also plenty of older chassis or body shells that we'll see that you just don't know what engine's in them anymore. Case in point was that E30 BMW just went down there, 1107, still knocking on the door of a 10-second pass, but it's got a K-Series, a turbo K-Series, out of a Honda in it. So it's pretty rare that you're gonna guess that, Yeah,
the guys are definitely playing with lots of different things, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and you've got all these aftermarket ECUs that can run all this stuff. So really, all you need to do is a bit of fab work to make sure that the thing bolts up.
Yep.
You've got your clearance. Do a bit of fab work for your intake pipes or your charge pipes or whatever it is that whatever the combo requires. You slap a Haltech or a Fuel Tech or a insert ECU name here, and you're basically going to run it. If you want a manual transmission, then you don't have to worry about any of that. Just run the engine and off you go. But even, a lot of these ECUs are controlling electronic automatic gearboxes now, DCT.
Yep.
All of that sort of stuff. That 8 HP gearbox, which is starting to find its way into a lot of things, the ZF gearbox.
Yep.
There's adapter plates available for just about everything now. I'm seeing 8 HPs behind 2Js, behind 1Js, behind RBs, behind rotaries. And it's giving this new, I don't want to say a new lease of life to an engine combination or a chassis, but it's allowing you to have so much more drivability.
Yes.
You know, on a combination that might have been, you know, your only option was a C4 box, which you can't find anymore. Like, let's take a rotary, right? If you've got a rotor and you don't want a manual anymore because you're sick of twin plate, triple plate clutches that chatter, and you know you've got a left leg like a Russian shot putter or something that you're sick of, you want to go auto. A C4 is almost impossible to find now in one piece. You know, anyone that's a Ford guy that's got a C4, they're sticking them under their table.
Yep.
So, and not much else auto-wise fits in one of those. Maybe a power glide, only 2 speeds.
Yep.
Takes away from sort of the sporty feeling of the car. So you get one of these late model transmissions, you know, like the late model auto, the 8 HP. There's 8 speeds. There's all sorts of control that you can do in regards to decoupling, you know, the transmission. So it's almost like having a clutch.
Yep.
You can free rev the thing. You know, you can set it up so that you've got effectively a button, or even if it was a manual car, you can leave the clutch pedal in it, put a switch on it, and you can hit the clutch, and it's like it's got a clutch in it.
Okay.
You know, you can free rev it, you can dump it, you can do all those sorts of things. So there's an amazing sort of array of aspects that, you know, would lead you to look at this sort of modification. And it could be the next step of your car that you've had forever. You know, I mean, we speak to Nino, I think it was, with the Ute down there. He's had that for 26 years. And he's built it all together and is happy. But what if he's got it for another 10 years and he goes, what's the next step? You know, maybe he'll do this, maybe he'll change the engine, blah, blah, blah. But if you've got, I know I'm using the rotary a lot, but if you've got a beautiful FD RX-7, for example, that you wouldn't change a thing about the way it looks, but maybe you're a little bit older, you've got kids, you just want to get in and stick it in drive, basically, and cruise around, but have a bit of fun when you want, come out to the track, etc. Geez, that's a pretty strong argument to look at one of those changes.
Yeah. And it's good that technology has gone that far to allow that. And the guys that are out there doing this stuff, like I stuck with the Turbo 700 in my car.
Yep.
Craig's Automatics, the guys know their stuff. They built, you know, like this thing can withstand 650 horsepower.
Yep.
Full manualised, does everything you want, and it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, the usual changeover on those things would have been a Turbo 400.
Yes, that's right. And you lose your overdrive.
Yes.
So if you do like getting out in the car and doing long drives, then, you know, you do, especially if you've got like a cranky NA engine or something that's, you know, big cam or, you know, whatever it might be, or a shorter diff ratio, for example, you know, and the thing's screaming its head off in third. It's, you know, I've got a Turbo 400 in my car and it doesn't have really short ratios, but when you're driving up the M7 at 100 kilometres an hour and it's doing 3,000 RPM in an LS, you know, you would be nice to grab that grab that overdrive gear. Yeah, and that's where these multi-gear modern transmissions are allowing you to do that. 8 speeds, so you can have this tightly packed first, second, third, fourth, for example. Get out of the hole quick, and then start
Carry
putting
everything through.
Yep. Carry it all the way through. Keeps the engine in its efficiency range for longer. You know, and then once you've done with all that acceleration, but drop it into the top gear, and the thing's cruising at, you know, 1,600 RPM and 110 or whatever it is. So, yeah, definitely a lot to be said for modern stuff. Doesn't feel the same as banging through the gears of an old gearbox, though. I will admit that.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we got 4 haters sitting out the back here from Team Karam Racing. It'll be coming out again soon as well. I'll tell you what, we just witnessed their Pro Street car. This is more street, but nevertheless, this thing is still super quick. I'll tell you what, mate, you look pumped.
Mate, driving this car is just on another level, eh? I think it just makes your adrenaline be pumped.
Mate, it is an absolute credit to Team Karam and all the work that not only they do, but also you guys as drivers do for these Evos, and putting a great show on for everybody around the world and here at the track.
Thank God the Evo scene's come back alive, huh?
Well, mate, we want to see more of you.
That's it. Why not? Well, we're here.
Let's go out and have some fun, brother. Mate, I was just speaking to Eden down here, Pat, in the staging lanes. And look, we're both just flabbergasted the amount of cars and the quality cars that have come out tonight. Cannot wait. Race for Real is back. And I'll tell you what, 2024, boys, we're going to be turning it up even harder.
Spot on, Stu. Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see not only the Evo guys down there, but I tell you what, they are certainly back in force.
They
That's
are
for sure. The
indeed,
Evo scene
yeah.
was, I don't know where it went. I'm not sure what caused it, but it sort of disappeared for a minute there, and then all of a sudden this year they're well and truly back in it. So
yeah, it's really good, and hopefully it puts a little bit of a rocket under the other guys out there.
Yeah, that's right.
To come back out and bring some of their cars out and just start showing us what they're putting together.
yeah, that's right. You've had enough time. You've had, okay, we get it. You've had the kids.
Yeah.
The missus was on your back. You spent too much money for a while there. But you've had a break now.
Yep.
It's time to come back out, put the big boy pants on, or the big girl pants on, and,
Yep.
come for a run down at the track.
Well,
that's what we want to see.
You know, like if you don't think you can drive that car anymore, let your wife have a go.
Yeah. Shots fired. Yep, that's we don't care who's driving it, as long as it's with permission, of course. As long as it's here at the track and having fun, that's the important thing. And you know, the reaction from that driver in the Evo as well that she just had down there, that's exactly what you want, man.
Yeah.
You know, a dude's he's put his hard-earned money into this car. It's come out here. It's tried to rip his face off the line, and you can't ask for anything more. So let's see what happens. Looks like there is another challenger down there in lane number 6, Mark. I've got a feeling that might be the Evo Executor from Elite Auto House.
Okay,
from memory, I think. It's obviously a bit hard to identify it from looking at a screen here up in the box, but it's kind of what it looks like. So we know that is going to run 170 mile per hour plus. So let's get after it. I've got.
Now, Pat, one thing I will be doing tomorrow at some stage, I'm not quite sure when, but I will be up in Hornsby tomorrow. I'm actually going to drop into Cherry Tuning and have a chat to those guys, because we just had an i30N sedan go down the track. I know those guys have got a car in the build, a race car they're building for roll drags. And I want to have a chat to them and see, number one, what they've been up to, but secondly, will we see them back here at Aeroflow Race for Real?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see a little bit more there, Stu. You know, we talk about modern engines and combinations and whatnot, and those N-line cars are, you know, they've obviously got a very efficient engine, you know, very efficient cylinder head, like most modern, modern technology combinations have. So what would be interesting, Stu, if you do visit the guys at Cherry, is to ask them, where's the roadblock in tuning those cars? You know, is it the direct injection system? Is it, you know, lack of parts currently available? Is it people just waiting to see what happens? You know, like, oh, just let someone else play with their car first and see, you know, what the limits are. So yeah, if you get the opportunity, it'd be interesting to find out.
I will definitely be up in Hornsby tomorrow to have a chat to Tristan and all the boys. I know they are quite busy at the moment, and I know they've got a lot of customer cars that they're in the process of building as well. They also do normal servicing as well for all your Hyundais. But I'll tell you what, if they can get the big car ready to go, I reckon they need to bring it out and see if they can set a record for the fastest Hyundai i30N. Or street-based anyway.
Well, we've got a quick BMW in the rocket lane there, Stu, so let's see if the Evo can chase it down. I don't think so. 163.60 for the BMW. Goes for a 1086, 124. Definitely a few, just a few gremlins to sort out for the Evo in the Aeroflow lane.
Just didn't want to launch out for him.
Nah, that's all right. Plenty more time to run tonight.
Yes, heaps of it.
Yeah, heaps of it. And heaps of people taking advantage of this beautiful weather and an open track as well. The lanes are full, which is what we love to see.
And it's just a feeling of these nights. You know, you're out in your car. It's just that adrenaline that is pumping. You know, you're just moving your way down to the starting line. Yeah,
sometimes you got to sort of just stop in the tunnel, or, you know, just before you get called into the burnout box, and just sort of go, all right, it's all right, everything's okay, we're not in a rush, just make sure everything's good, that switch is turned on, this thing's here, that position's where it's supposed to be, etc., etc. You know, go through your start line procedure. Even if you're a normal street car, sometimes it can, you know, just take a beat, have a half breath, look around at everything, go, yep, that's all where it's supposed to be. I've turned my traction control off, or I've got my launch control button pressed, and etc.
Yeah. So I used to love just coming into the tunnel. You just go through, flick the fuel pump, you flick the fans, you're hitting the water pump, you're just doing everything.
Yep.
Check all your belts and everything. Give that motor just that nice snappy rev.
Yep. Rup, rup.
That's it. We're on.
We're ready to go.
Put the race face on.
Yep. Make sure the oil pressure gauge is pointing in the right direction.
Yes. Yep.
No, it's good. I tell you what, that Kamahara sort of gets out of the hole well, but a few times tonight it's just tagged the limiter. I'm assuming the distributor's rev limiter or something. It dumps a bunch of fuel. And it cruises on through, but that's a bit of testing and tuning. So
100%. Yep. Well, Rocket Lane, 12.8, 108 miles an hour to a 13.6 at 101 miles an hour. We got the BMW down in the Aeroflow lane up against this real trick-looking VL Commodore.
yeah, that is a tidy unit, and it was pouring on some speed last time out. So
yeah.
Let's see if they can't get it out of the hole a little bit cleaner. Well, it's definitely making it in the back half, keeping that BMW honest after a bit of a slow start. 12.12 at 133 mile per hour to a 10.85 at 124.
Yeah, definitely. Once it gets out of the hole, then it just starts feeding it on.
You can hear that turbo spool up from the track mic. It's yeah, that's the reason why we love VL turbos.
Yes.
And Mark, we're just going to double check as well, see if we have got the reaction time.
Yep.
Prize money on the table tonight. It looks like we've got the right amount of cars in the staging lanes, but we want to double check on the count. But if that all goes ahead, mate, we've got $300, $200, and $100 available for the taking.
Yep.
If you can cut that light.
Absolutely. So don't even wait. Just jump in now.
Just get after it. You know, go for it. We've had a couple of real good ones lately as well. You know, it was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was on the 15th of November. We had a gentleman go 002 for the #1 reaction time. Then second and third tied 010.
Wow.
Two people run exactly the same reaction time, 010. And I've got a feeling that I think maybe 2 out of the 3 weren't here when we called it. Oh. So they missed out on $500 went begging for those guys that had managed to cut a light. So don't let that be you. Don't let that happen to you. If you're going to be Johnny on the spot when it comes to reaction time, the 000 is the magic number. That is, you cannot get any quicker. You know, you can get a hell of a lot slower, but you can't get any quicker than a 000. If it's quicker than a 000, it's too fast. It ends up with a cherry on the tree and no money for you.
Yeah.
But the closest you can get, you don't have to run a 000 to win the reaction time challenge. It's just the best on the night.
Well, you're going to secure it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, that's like getting blackjack
in
the casino. You know, you get 21 on the deal. You're good to go. So if you can run the 000, you know you're going to walk away with $300 dues.
Yeah, well, it's a nice little investment you can throw back into the car.
Oh, that's exactly right. You know,
or bike, whatever you're on.
Yep. Some more money in the kitty for a new set of radials, or you know, going towards that new combination, whatever it is that you need to do. Just a bit of maintenance.
Yes.
You know.
Well, the Rexy up against the Falcon. Rexy out in front and just pedaling away.
That GC8's been pretty consistent all night, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's done plenty of laps.
That's indeed. 12.3, 115 miles an hour to a 14.8 at 93 miles an hour.
Definitely a lot of consistent running out there tonight, which is great to see, you know. You don't want to come out with just a one-trick pony, one run pass, and then, that's the end of that. This is too hot, or that's whatever, so let's see. All right, so we've got a new S15. I don't think I've seen the yellow S15 out here so far. We saw a red one earlier. Up against, is that the
Commodore Ute?
Spicy Ute with the turbo 6-cylinder in it?
Not sure.
Yep.
Nope, yep.
The external wastegate gave it away, strangely enough. So, not bad. Looks like the S15 got away fairly cleanly, but maybe a misshift or something in the range. 1291 at 107 to an 1186, 126 for the Ute.
Commodore just had a quick jump of the brakes before he crossed the line.
Yeah, a little bit of a dab, maybe, yeah.
Just to stay safe.
Yep.
Okay, we've got the Celica up against the VN Commodore.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. So, I gave myself the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
I was talking about the reaction time. I was so excited by how many cars we got out here tonight, but we've just missed out on the number required. So, there is a little bit more time, but I don't know. Where are we at?
So get on the phone, ring all your mates.
Tell your mates, hurry up, enter, race for real. There's still a good hour and a half. You can run the car down the strip. The weather's perfect. The track's on kill. And I'm trying to win $300, mate. So get your car down here.
Do your mate a favour.
Do your mate a favour. Yeah, that's right. So we do have a minimum number of entries on the night to ensure that we've got the kitty there. So it is 100.
Yep.
We're a little shy of that. So unfortunately, I've pumped it up. I've given myself a commentator's curse, and we haven't got it. We haven't got the number yet. So, but it's something to keep in mind if you're thinking about coming on down.
Yep.
It's not just for a little bit of fun. It could be for a bit of cash. So come on down, have some fun, cut a light, walk away with some cash in the pocket. Could be $300, $200, or even $100 in the back pocket just for having that good reaction time.
I can't think of anything better to do on a Wednesday night.
Really not.
Like you can have so much fun.
Yeah.
And walk away money up.
Yep. That's it. Come to this great facility. Everything's here. You can come and get something to eat. You can come and get a drink. You can see the vendors. You can see, get the coffee. Have a, if we've got Troy from Gasty with the pizza. Whatever it might be.
Yep. Denise and the donuts.
Yep.
The guys down in the pit cafe.
Yep.
It's
all here. We've got this killer track. Lights are on. You might have to listen to us, which could be a bit of a downer.
Entertaining commentators.
Yeah. Attractive, entertaining commentators.
Well, we've got Stu on out there. He's on show.
He's getting the inside goss.
Yeah, I did. I just came up just to grab a drink from the box. But no, great turnout of cars tonight. And look, as I said earlier, if you only just joined us, we've got something here tonight for everyone. There's Aussie muscle, we've got Euro, we've got Jap, got some very quick Evos. As we said, we've welcomed Mark back from PSC Racing, and a very, very crowd-pleasing car. Of course, it's been around a long time, that Tirana.
Yes.
But I tell you what, it still runs the numbers.
Yeah, it ran well into the 8s earlier, Stu.
Yes.
So there's nothing.
And as we mentioned last week, Mark, Pro Street has really made a huge resurgence back in the car scene, particularly here at Aeroflow Race for Real. So what they're doing in the drag radial events is now starting to filter down into our street scene. And it's an exciting time to be out here at Sydney Dragway as part of Aeroflow Race for Real.
And we're having the variations now, aren't we?
We are.
Roll drags and like all that type of stuff that if as you say, a little bit scared of launching your car out, well, you don't have to. Come out here.
Yeah, come out and do it safely, and particularly on this track. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got two of the best track prep operators in the country right here in Sydney. And as I said, they work day in, day out on this track. I can tell you out there, though, boys, it has cooled down considerably down there, but it's not super cold.
Yep.
So the times from now on, I would say, will start to come down. Not by much, but...
Yeah, I think we're around 22 degrees now, Stu. So yeah, it's definitely come down a few, and the dew point's holding off as well, which is great. So the track's in mint condition, the air's great. You know, we've got plenty of cars out there that are going to take advantage of that. Plenty of turbocharged action happening these days.
We've already had one record roll out tonight.
Correct. Yep, we've got Team Karam King 4G 865 at 170. I can't remember if it was 171 or 173 mile per hour, but right up there. We've got, and it's a bit of everything. You know, as we mentioned, it's Evos, it's Euros, it's Aussie muscle, it's American muscle. Just one of everything. So,
yeah, indeed. And you know, like some of us do make fun of different cars, but
it's just a bit of banter.
It's a bit of fun, and we all just love all cars. You know?
Yep, I've said it a bunch of times since I've been here, mate. If it's fast, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. If it lights up those boards and, you know, does it in an entertaining way, then we're all for it. Definitely a couple of newer cars rolling through as well, even though it's a little bit later in the night. So I think got Tesla, we've got the red Ute here, which we've seen before, but I think I saw possibly a VY Club Sport roll through the tunnel.
Yeah.
That had a bit of an LSA supercharger peeking out through the bonnet from what I could see.
Yeah, okay.
So that's always going to be a little bit spicy. But we'll see what this Ute and the Tesla can reel off here. Oh, Tesla in for deep stage. Just chasing that reaction time, maybe. 2.060 foot for the Tesla and the Rocket. It's holding the tone as it heads on down the track. We've got the Commodore giving chase. Further on down, 12.11, 113 for the Tesla versus the 1381 at 109 for the Holden Ute.
Well, guys, tomorrow night here at Sydney Dragway, of course. Tonight is Aeroflow Race for Real, but tomorrow night we've got Tyre Thrashing Thursday. And we've got about 4 or 5 pro cars that'll be making their way out to have a bit of a spin. And of course, a lot of our cars from our street classes as well. That all kicks off around 6 o'clock here at the track. It's going to be a big, big night. We'll have Sydney's and surrounding areas Burnout family up in Burnout Central. And they're going to be making a lot of noise, and we'll be seeing plenty of smoke tomorrow night, boys. So, and a little bit of methanol. So if you love that style of burnouts, guys, you love it, bring the family out, bring the kids. It's going to be a fantastic night here at Sydney Dragway. Now, looks like we've got a few little drops of wet stuff down on the track. So our track crew just checking the rocket lane for the moment. But man, what a turnout. I don't know, I'm already pumped, and it's not even Thursday yet.
Yeah, one more sleep, mate, and then you're here.
Well, mate, I'm usually pumped on a Wednesday morning when I wake up, because I know that I'm coming to the place where we all relieve our stress and we all leave our worries at the front door and we come out and enjoy ourselves. We call it church, Wednesday night church, and it is for a reason. We've got some of the best street cars in Sydney that make their way out here to Sydney Dragway for Aeroflow Race for Real. We must thank Aeroflow Performance for their continued support of off-street drag racing. And if you need anything for your car, guys, make sure you go down to the scrutineering shed, grab yourself a copy of the Performance Parts catalogue, and I'm sure there will be something in there that you can use for your car if you need it. If not, definitely give Rocket a call or Aeroflow Performance, and I'm sure they will be able to guide you in the right direction as to get something for your car. If you're into doing performance mods,
Yeah, there's only about 13,000 part numbers in that catalogue, Stu, so it's just a few to choose from, and then I think another 70,000 in the Rocket catalogue, so I'm sure we can find something to keep everyone happy there.
I actually grabbed one on my way through getting me cup of coffee, because I don't have a current one, so yeah, it was time to update.
Yep, well, luckily enough, there's plenty of the Aeroflow catalogues down the scrutineering shed, so if you do need one, head on down there, and it's got the right kind of car on the cover, doesn't it?
Oh, mate, it's just, yeah. What more could you ask for? As soon as you see that Tirana on the front, well, got to have that.
Mate, it's a Tirana and it's got a turbo LS in it.
Yes.
Perfect. Driven on a regular basis as well, I might add. Nick gets that thing out almost every weekend.
Wow, that is great.
It's at home at a show. I haven't seen him bring it out here on the racetrack though, so I'm going to have to give him a bit of a rev up to do that.
Indeed.
But it is a beautiful car though, so I know he's just enjoying it with his family. But while we've got a bit of a track check, I think we might get the Bushmaster to flip over to a couple of ads. We'll pay some bills, and we'll be right back here at Aeroflow Race for Real at Sydney Dragway.
Speed Addict Clothing Co. Fast clothes for fast people. Shop now at Speed.
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems, you can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
BikeReview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles. BikeReview.com.au is the only motorcycle-focused website to feature motorcycle drag racing on a regular basis. And in the words of editor Jeff Ware, our involvement with Sydney Dragway is our way of putting back into one of our favourite sports. BikeReview.com.au. Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to Para News. Para News is Parramatta and the Cumberland area's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. Para News really is the heartbeat of Parramatta and Cumberland, and it's out every Tuesday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area or check out paranews.com.au.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to us.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Whether you're building a street machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, X-Pro electrical systems, hoses and fittings, bang shift shifters, differential parts and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
I've chosen to use VP racing fuels since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now. I just have a really personal trust with VP racing fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up and not, a lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP racing fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent, it's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
All right, we're back from that little ad break, so thanks for tuning in, whether you're here at the track or live on the streams on YouTube or Facebook, Sydney Dragway Official. Mark, we just saw that nice grey VL get down the track, 1087 at 120 mile per hour. I think it was a bit of an early lift there. So
yeah, pretty much most of the passes tonight he has just been jumping off that a little bit early.
Yep.
So hopefully by the end of the night we'll see a full noise pass out of it.
That's it. What might be a Hail Mary at the end of the night. Right, we did have that little break because I think unfortunately the VX, fat one for you, might have left a little bit of something on the track after its last pass. It was definitely down in speed. You know, ET and mile per hour was off on that one, so something not quite right. I'm sure they'll get that squared away and it'll be back out in no time.
Z up against the, oh, jeez.
Very loose off the line for the VF there in the rocket lane.
10.5, 148 miles an hour to a 12.5, 124 miles an hour.
There is a deep 9 in that car if we can get out of the hole. But I went 9:36 and 143, so there's a lot in that VZ. So congratulations to that car. I don't think we've seen it run a 10 tonight, so
no,
definitely plenty more in it.
Just need to get it off that a little bit early, out of that hole.
Yep. That's the trick of it, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, oh, just go faster out of the hole. Oh yeah, no worries. I'll just do that next time. Why didn't I think of that? All right. Pair of VFs down there. I think that might have been that Motorsport edition that we've mentioned a couple of times tonight. Well, it's in the left lane. We've got definitely some mods on board. The Aeroflow lane, 1045 at 131. Wow. Nothing to sneeze at there.
And 13.3, 106 miles an hour. One of those guys was just bouncing on the limiter.
Yeah.
Just crossing the line.
There's definitely, Bushy, I think you're right. There's a nice level of sort of low ETs out here tonight, so it's good to see. That Mercedes SUV is hooking and booking. 160, 60 foot for the big Mercedes. 1054 at 128. Where have they been hiding that tonight?
Wow, we've got that one. We've got the sedan with the big rubber on the back of it.
Yep.
We've got some real quick Mercedes.
Absolutely. There's a couple more cars coming through here. So another 35 GTR. We just had one run down in the rocket lane, but maybe a misshift or something because there's definitely an aborted run there. This this blue one, I can't remember if they still called it Bayside Blue in the 35 in this this special edition. So
yep,
great blue colour. We'll see if they can. We'll just back them out of stage. So as we mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that when you go into stage, you're 100% in a forward gear, as opposed to, just backing up if you've gone a little bit too far and then forgetting to take it out of reverse.
Yeah.
So we'll get that driver in. Perfect. We've got the Commodore in the rocket lane there, which sounds pretty spicy as well. Definitely a solid burnout. We've got a whiteout in the camera on the staging lanes now. R35 out to a 174, 60 foot, stringing off down the track. That's definitely the sound of a turbocharged LS motor in that Commodore in the rocket lane, a 175, 60 foot, 1136 for the R35, but a 1047 out of 132. that average ET time is coming down with every pass at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure that was 4 gears in the burnout there for the AMG, the C63.
And then big shooter flames just to finish it off.
Yep. That is, I'll say it again. That is probably the most aggressive C63 I've seen here at the track, that's for sure. So let's see if they can't get it out of the line a little bit harder this time. We've got the white ute in the rocket lane as well, which I think is a pretty solid unit. Definitely out of the hole aggressively. Think a bit of wheel spin and maybe some limiter short shifting action from the bends there. 1034, 133 for the ute in the rocket lane, 1128 at 134 for the Mercedes. So that's actually a great example there. You see the ute and the Merc both very similar mile per hour, but a significant difference in the ET. And that's all in that 60 foot. Yep. So 162 for the ute versus a 201 for the Mercedes. So we're talking 4/10ths of a difference. 4/10ths of a difference in the 60 foot, 8/10ths in the big end. Yep. It's that magic formula that's always working out. But it just goes to show you can have all the mile per hour, but if you can't get it out of the hole, there's a good chance you're losing a race. Right, so just a little bit of moisture to clean up. Something tells me that this Benz is supercharged, or it's got some sort of interchiller system, which they usually get a bit of condensation on the bricks when they're on the line. So similar to leaving your AC on when you're in the staging lanes. You get up to the line, you might bump in, or you launch hard and it'll shake a bit of condensation off. So always a good idea if you are in the staging lanes with an AC in the car, just switch it off.
So boys, we got B2R Motorsport sitting out the back here with their Honda Civic.
Okay.
So hopefully the driver is in the car, so hopefully we'll see that car out for a run. But look, I can tell you boys, conditions out here at the moment are sensational for racing. So we got some big cars coming out. So stay in front of that computer screen. Get your phones out here at the track. Elite Auto House are about to be let loose. I've just had to walk down the back to have a chat to some burnout guys, and they are ready, ladies and gentlemen. They are pumped. They cannot wait to hit the burnout pad and put a show on.
Right, everyone's out for a show tonight, Wednesday night. Race for Real, brought to you by Aeroflow Performance here at Sydney Dragway. We've got the Commodore in full stage. We've got the Evo in full stage. Let's see what they can light up the boards with. Executor off in clutch and tyre smoke. He's grabbing gears, moving down that track at a rapid pace of knots. And just buttons off towards the big end. Keeping the cards close to the chest, I would say, Mark, on this one.
Yep.
A 950 at 113 miles per hour, which is not a lot of mile per hour for that ET.
Big back out of that.
That was a big short track time out of the Evo, which is pretty nice. A 159 60 foot, very impressive for a radial tired, manual driven Evo. So a little bit more for them. Cold air, beautiful track, great facility. It's all coming together for the races here at Race for Real.
Yeah, formula's right.
Yeah. Oof, Mark from PSC with the John Force style burnout through the line there in the Tirana. This car and this driver's always been entertaining. If you've ever spoken to him on the phone or in real life, you know he's a bit of a character. So it's great to see him back out doing what he loves, driving his own car rather than just working on cars 24/7 at the shop out at Penrith. We've also got only 2 litre there from Team Karam, Evo in the rocket lane. Definitely all of the guys out here to chase that radial record. So let's see what they can bring to the party this time. 2-step on board. The Tirana is out cleanly. 137 60 foot. That is a great short time. The Evo chasing down in the big end. But Mark through for a 912 at 151. Looks like a bit of a back off there at some point. 979 at 163 miles per hour for the Evo in the rocket lane. Some more great passes there.
All right, guys, B2R Motorsports are in the house as well. They've gone the Honda route.
Oh, it looks like Joe didn't want to get shown up by Mark on the burnout stakes there, mate. It's another funny car style burnout there, which is good to see. Stewie, I can't see the rear tyres on that Civic. Is it an all-wheel drive? Has it got a fat tyre on the rear of it or a skinny?
It's got a fat tyre on the rear of it, actually.
Right, that's a nice
A
combination.
little bit of a different profile, though, by the look of it, compared to the front. But I can't wait to see what B2R have got for us. Does run a little bit of nitrous.
It's another good formula. K-Series, big turbo, nitrous, all-wheel drive, lightweight Civic. Let's see what they can do. Joe off with a nice 144 launch. Civic had all of the two-step action happening, but didn't quite come away. It's okay. It's the first pass of the night for that car, so I'm sure they'll get their heads around what's happening there, what's required. It's not always easy, first time out with a combination, to know, okay, yes, it's making boost on the two-step, but is it enough? Is the RPM enough so that when you drop the clutch, it's not going to bog down too hard? That is an enthusiastic burnout from a Supra.
Guys, the Queen is back out in the Integra. See what she's got for us on this pass.
See if we can't see a little bit more boost through this Integra. And this Supra has been running well. Also, just waiting for the last car to clear the track. There we are, and we're ready to go. Definitely struggling for traction in the Integra there. But it's working its way down the track. Bit of the old shimmy in the big end. 13.39 at 102 for the Integra. 12.55 at 117 for Supra in the Rocket Lane.
Yeah, not a bad miles an hour for the Supra.
Yep.
Well, just all our fans that are watching from around the world via our YouTube and Facebook page. Hope you guys are enjoying all the action from here at Aeroflow Race for Real. Plenty more racing to come. We've got some tough cars still to come out.
Another crispy pass from the Falcon Ute there, 10.79 at 123. I think that might be a PB of the night for the car.
Yep.
11.68 at 116 for the little Audi. Again, super consistent, that little Audi S3 in the Rocket Lane. It seems like the burnout party started earlier than normal. Falcon's very enthusiastic.
Now that looked a little bit like Paul Rappo down here in the Aeroflow lane, who's behind the wheel of this Falcon. Of course, Paul, well known here at Aeroflow Race for Real for a couple of tough V6 supercharged Commodores.
Yeah, supercharged. I think he had a nitrous one as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did at one stage. Absolutely.
Well, 13.6, 103 miles an hour to a 15.1, 93 miles an hour.
And that's been an NA. If that's an NA 4-litre Barra,
yep,
that's pretty good. 1360, 103 mile per hour is not too shabby at all.
Yeah, you'd definitely be happy with it turning those times each pass.
Yeah, I think your stock cars are sort of high 14s, you know, in a late model FG XR. All right. So we've got the Tesla out again in the Rocket Lane. See if it can't chip away a little bit there. All right, 195.60.
Yep. Out and gone.
Scooting its way on down.
12.1, 111 miles an hour to a 16 free at 89 miles an hour.
Okay, a little bit of two-step action happening there from a couple of cars on the strip. Aeroflow lanes, 176, 60 foot. It's pretty tight. I didn't actually see what that vehicle was, Mark. Did you notice?
No, I didn't, no.
It's gone down for a 1252 at 109 to a 1351 at 105 for the blue XR5.
So we've got a pair of Hondas just rolling in.
These guys have been paired up, I think, 3 times now. Yeah. Surely they're mates, right?
Gotta be.
Yeah. You've got the K24 in the Honda Accord Euro, which is generally a bit more of a family car, but a few more cubes, versus the K20 in the Integra in the other lane. Integra's going to lead the way off down the track there. All right, it's a 15.1 at 95 miles per hour to a 16.86 at 87 in the Rocket Lane. All right, we've got our Volkswagen back out here with the turbo combination on board.
That'd chatter your teeth, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I think, if I remember correctly, I think I might have seen this Volkswagen Bug at Summernats last year, or this year, I should say.
Okay.
The last one. I'm pretty sure it's actually got Porsche running gear in it.
Wow.
I think it's Subaru engine with the turbo EJ motor. But the gearbox and the hubs and everything else is actually from a Porsche.
Perfect.
So it's all a bit of, boxer engine, air-cooled action, sort of menage a trois happening there.
Well, Mr. Carter's had that car for a fair while.
Yeah. Yep.
As well, and I know that it has been street driven a couple of times as well. So great to see them out here. Of course, Dave Carter, his son. Dave and I have commentated together up here for a burnout event. That was a fun day.
Very good. Yeah, no, it's good to see all kinds and all types out here at Race for Real.
Well, it's the right setup in it, like the Porsche engine for the VW.
Yeah, you've got that boxer motor, know, the horizontally opposed engine, which is definitely a bit rare, but Volkswagen, obviously the air-cooled version is where they started. Porsche, originally air-cooled, now obviously water-cooled. Very, very impressive combinations. I mean, the later Porsches, 3.8 litre or 4 litre, naturally aspirated 6 cylinders, making more than 500 horsepower. Wild. And then Subaru hanging on to that boxer as well. Let's not offend too many people talking about the Subaru boxes. We've got too many Evos here. We'll get some hate mail if we talk about Subaru EJs too much.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the red S15 back in the Aeroflow lane and the E30, turbo E30 in the Rocket lane. Let's see if we can't get it out of the hole. I think a 1960 is where it's been tonight. Let's see if they can't improve on that one.
He's really got to work hard to get it going.
It's a handful to get off the line, for sure. But, geez, once it gets off the line, it's moving. A 13.0 at 110 mile per hour for the S15, the Aeroflow lane, to an 11.40 at 133 for the E30 BMW in the Rocket lane. Good potential there from that E30.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, I'd want to see it get out of the hole quick. Like, even just a 1.860, get it to where it needs to be, right? Okay, so we've got Evo, I think, for the haters from memory. The number plate on this Evo. Let's see if they can't get that launch squared away. I know they've been working on that tonight. We've got a little Focus ST in the other lane. Some two-step action of its own. Nice launch from the Focus. Plenty of two-step action from the Evo. Here we go. Grab a gear. Let's go. Roll them down the track. Ooh, no, aborted.
Yep.
Later in the pass, but good to see making progress. Still 11.72 at 56 mile per hour. It gives you an indication on what the short track was like. A 13.65 at 106 for the Focus in the Rocket lane.
Yeah. That may be just been gathering a bit of data past that one.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we speak about it often. 60 foot is where the where those low ETs are going to come from. running it out the back door and putting power, in the higher gears is relatively easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting it figured out off the line, that's the tricky bit. So I'm sure the guys are gaining some data there, and they're going to chip away.
Well, 11.4, 111 miles an hour.
Yeah, that nitrous-assisted VH, I haven't had a chance to have a look at that car for tonight because I've been so busy, but pretty good pass from him.
Yeah, sure was there, Stu.
All right, Audi versus BMW. Of course, there are some pretty quick Audis that are getting around this country of ours. And we're very fortunate we've got a couple of them over here on the East Coast.
A launch control battle on the line there, guys, I think. There's Audi versus BMW. BMW with the reaction time, but the Audi seems to have leapfrogged. It's going to cross for a 12.15 at 113 mile per hour to a 13.51 at 101.
It just has that better top end.
All right, so we've got the Corolla brothers out again. I don't know if there are actually brothers. I'm just using that term quite loosely.
Throw it out there anyway.
Yeah, well, what do you got there?
So is this yellowy one got a full noise passed in as yet?
I think it has, but I think it's a bit of a handful off the line. I think from memory, it's run 130 odd mile per hour. 133-ish bushy, yeah, I think is probably PB on the mile per hour. But yeah, when it's coming off the line, it's definitely a Corolla. When it's coming off the line, it's there might need to be some chassis improvements on this. There's a little combination possibly to make it a bit more consistent off the line. So, but hey, it's entertaining. So let's tune in and see what they can do. Both into full stage. Bluey green, KE 176. Yeah, the mustard KE in the rocket lane is still struggling to get it out of the hole. Yeah, definitely down on mile per hour there as well. I think it didn't seem that slow.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Still 11.37 at 129 for the Aeroflow lane to 11.60 at 114 mile per hour. Looks like we've got the GR Yaris.
Yep.
Action
pairing.
here. All right. Full stage. Ooh, aggressive launch from the Aeroflow lane. Ooh, both very close. 60 foot's a 186 to a 183. Going to go through and we'll see a 13.55 at 102 to a 12.78 at 109 in the rocket lane.
Yeah, that'll do your head in, reading the time card, won't it?
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
Hey, Pat and Steve, I'm down here in the staging lanes, and I can tell you right here and now, laptops have got eyes transfixed on them at the moment down here. Anthony Matook's actually here tonight. Anthony just having a look at the data from the Elite Auto House Evo, and B2R Motorsports, they are down here with their Civic, and they are having a good look. As you can hear them just testing out their car, getting the data, and we'll try and get this car down the track, because I can tell you, we're in for a treat, I think, boys. We think we're in for a treat.
It definitely looks like there's a bit of page up happening down there, mate. So we want all of the page ups for those guys, so we can keep knocking that Evo radial time down that we saw broken earlier. All right, the A90 Supra is out for 1960. It's going to lead the way to the XR5 Focus in the rocket lane. Got an 1168 at 123, super consistent for that A90 tonight. 1585 at 95 mile per hour for the XR5 in the rocket lane. And if the track might's not lying to me, I think there's someone with a bit of a crackle tune in,
Yes.
in the big end
Yep.
there. They got the snap, crackle and pop on the overrun. All right, got a little Evo in the Aeroflow lane. How odd, an Evo here at Sydney Dragway.
It's unheard of.
For real, yeah.
He's up against the Falcon.
Yep. It's actually going to be a nice close race. Both 2.2 60 foots. Right around 6.0 in the 3:39. There we go. 13.78 at 102 to a 13.63 at 106 in the Rocket Lane. Falcon just edging out the Evo on that one.
Okay. This is 1 tonner has just rolled in. I haven't seen that make it past it all tonight.
I think it may have run earlier against another style side ute. I think Stewie might have been talking. I was going to make a comment that he's knocked off work and come from a rip down the strip. So,
Mark,
Yeah,
I've
mate.
got some bad news for you.
What's that?
Well, I just had to chat to the driver of the Area 51 ute that's down here, the green one.
Yep.
And apparently he's got an Edel block manifold to go on top of the car. He's going to take the bonnet off. And he's going to be buying some guards for the back of the car. And apparently it's going on the burnout pad.
Wow, okay.
he's going to skid it, you reckon, Stu?
He's going to take it out and have a little bit of fun on the burnout pad in the future in the car.
Well, that's the beauty of it, mate. That's his car, so he can do what he likes. And Sydney Dragway's here for it. We are enablers.
We'll
here at
clap
Sydney
him on.
Dragway. Yeah, that's right. Yes. All right. Battle of the six-cylinder utes by the looks of things. Down here, we've got the FG Falcon in the Aeroflow lane, getting away nicely. Chased down by the VY ute in the Rocket Lane. You know, we have spoken about a lot of low ETs tonight, but it doesn't really matter what the ET is. No. You know, as long as you're out here enjoying your car in a safe, legal environment, you can do whatever it is that you need to do to get it down the track and get your buzz for the week, your midweek buzz.
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
But if you're good enough to do a PB, you can walk away with a bigger smile on your face.
Yeah, exactly right. And a big list of things to change next time, right?
We've got it right there.
Yeah, that's right.
There's your list.
You got the catalogue there. You can go through it.
Great pass there from Hypo 6, 11.37 out of the ute.
Yeah, I think he was on the brakes early again there, mate. That's I'm not sure if he's aware that he was on the brakes before he crossed the beam or not, but there's a little bit of ET left on the table there, I think. Okay, looks like the Eurowork M3 wagon back out here. God, they're a nice car.
Yes,
another
they
little
are
GR
indeed.
Yaris as well in the.
Yeah, this BMW wagon from Eurowork down here. Very tidy looking vehicle.
Right, could be the first time for the Yaris driver, just easing their way, just getting a little guide from the track staff there to get them into the staging beams. So for the first timers, just remember when you're pulling up to the line, just ease in. You'll see one white light come on. The second light means you're in full stage, and that will allow the starter to flick the button and start the tree to drop. As you can see, 159, 60 foot for the BMW. It's going to lead the way down the strip there. It's 1071 at 127 miles per hour in the Aeroflow lane to a 1591 at 100 in the Rocket Lane. Yeah, there's no great rush when you're here on Wednesday night to get into stage. You know, there's no timing cut-off that you might see at competition events where if someone's in full stage, you've only got 7 seconds or something to get into stage. You don't have to worry about that here. All we want you to do is ease up, bring that first bulb on, and then just creep forward a little bit, bring the second bulb on, and then you know you're in place. You don't even have to go as soon as the lights go green. That's one of the things about the Wednesday night. The green means that you are clear to go, but you don't have to leave right on it. Obviously, if you're trying to chase that reaction time money when that's on the table, here on a Wednesday night, then, yep, you want to leave as quick as you can on the green. But in general, there's no real reason to rush. We want to make sure that everything's fine. You're nice and comfortable. Car's ready to launch, and off you go. So you can see there, obviously, the car in the left lane, in the Aeroflow lane, has been chasing, actually, the reaction time all night. Left a cherry on the tree there with a minus 0.068. Finishes off for a 12.0 with a 5 at 113 miles per hour to a 12.0 with a 2 at 126 miles per hour from the Monaro in the Rocket Lane. So great pairing, actually, those two. I'd love to see them come through again. We've got, looks like the soon-to-be burnout use. Dragway Area 51 down there in the left lane. The green Maloo is off and up against, looks like some tough competition in the Rocket Lane. It's going to be a close pass. It looks like the Rocket Lane is streaking away at the bend there for a 13.0, 100 mile per hour to a 14.4 at 76 mile per hour. Something not quite right with the Maloo there by the looks of things. Okay. Tesla in the Aeroflow lane up against the, I want to say it's a VS Commodore. Sounds like it's got a bit of turbo LS combination or some sort of forced induction on the motor down there. Just going to slowly bring it into stage, make sure everything's good to go, and let's see what it can manage. Right, we see the Commodore. The Tesla is left. The Commodore is trying to bring the boost and the RPM up on the brake by the looks of things, but not really happy to get on the converter there, but it's going to throw a bit of power at it down the big end. Okay, 12.24, 112 for the Tesla to a 12.99 at 118 for the Commodore. So again, something not quite right in the Rocket Lane there, but go fix that and come back around. That's an enthusiastic burnout in the Aeroflow lane, Mark.
Yeah, it definitely was. No holding back.
No. Well, I mean,
still got a bit of tyre left.
What are you here for?
Yeah.
You know? You're just going to do a little burnout?
Not going to take
have
them
all your
tyres
mates
home.
talk about you? Yeah, forget about that. All right, let's see if we can convert the burnout into a pass. We've got the it's like a gold VY or VZ in the Rocket Lane. He's leading the way at the moment. It's going to cross for a 13.24 at 109 to a 13.63 at 108. Okay, I think this is the VY that I saw earlier with the LSA through the bonnet.
Yep. Okay.
So supercharged combination in the Aeroflow lane.
It's got the right number plate on it.
Definitely. Below 383. I think, is that the VH with the nitrous that ran a bit earlier? Might have broke through the beams, I think.
Not sure.
Either way, we're about to find out. And I can see two cars, both aggressive off the line. It looks like the VY is going to lead the way to the big end. 177.60, crosses for a 10.21 at 147 mile per hour. And the VH dips into the 10s as well, 10.92 at 124. Very nice. Nice aggressive burnout from the VF in the Aeroflow lane there. Motorsport Edition still cutting laps out here in the Rocket Lane, Mark. It's been consistent all night.
Absolutely. But geez, Aeroflow lane just sounds absolutely sensational in the burnout.
I reckon there's a bit of supercharged action under the bonnet there.
Yep.
Gets out at 175, 60 foot. Geez, we've been seeing some nice 60 foot times tonight from a lot of cars as well. 10.99 with a 9 at 128 for the VF. Very nice. So 13.47 at 106. Again, super consistent for that VF in the Rocket Lane.
So both these cars just went round the water and straight in and staged.
It's a bit of a all-wheel drive trait there. There goes that Mercedes wagon. It almost did a wheelie.
Yeah.
I think it did a 1.9 60 foot on the back wheels. That's gone for 11.41 at 128 to the 11.45 at 121. for R35.
Which is very close.
Very nice.
Well, big strong burnout from the Aeroflow lane.
That's what we like to see. I think pretty sure this is a turbo LS combination as well, this silver car.
Yep.
Mark, but I'm pretty sure we've got our favourite super aggressive AMG about to roll through for another pass. Yeah. So if you're down on the start line, get your earplugs ready, I think.
Yeah. Okay, we're just rolling these guys back at the moment. Well, 14.4, 106 miles an hour for the rocket lane. We're just having a quick little bit of a mop up down the Aeroflow lane, but in the meantime, we have that super tough Mercedes-Benz sitting down the rocket lane. And right beside him, we've got the Maloo. So another great match up there, and Stu's just walking between the pair. How good do they look side by side there, Stu?
Mate, they look fantastic. Now, this Maloo Ute down here, Mark's actually got a side mount supercharger on it. So it is certainly going to run the power's great to see the radial cars coming out and having a little bit of fun. This Bullet Mercedes with Dyno Tune Racing helping them out as well. As Sydney Performance Centre, they've also got that thing down to a dime. Of course, the All Sorts tiling Maloo Ute. And of course, the driver here, we'll see if we can grab a quick word with him. It's all right, mate, don't need to take your helmet off. How's the car running tonight?
Yeah, it's all right.
You happy with it?
I was just getting a bit too much heat in the engine bay, otherwise it's all right.
Now, mate, you got a little supercharger underneath the bonnet. What boost are you running in the car? Is it heavily boosted or only a mild setup?
Oh, about 12 pounds.
About 12 pounds? That's not too bad. You're out having a bit of fun?
Yeah, it's all about the fun, eh?
It certainly is. Well, it's great to see you out here as well. The All Sorts tiling Maloo Ute. And of course, he'll be taking on this beautiful looking Mercedes. But look, I can tell you what, boys, it's starting to get a little bit serious out the back. The laptops are off, drivers strapping into cars. You know, it actually feels like an actual race meet out there. I know we call it Race for Real, and they are racing for real, aren't they, boys? But I can tell you that there's a little bit of tension out the back that you can cut with a knife. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I can see,
we've got some racing coming.
All the Evo guys jostling for position down there in the staging lanes, mate. You know, everyone's sort of creeping forward, going around. I can see King 4G from Team Karam coming around. Looks like it's about to come through the tunnel, but we're going to get this cranky AMG. There it is, making itself known.
Okay, they're just actually just pushing the Maloo over into the rocket lane.
Okay. That's all right, we'll send these two cars as a single. Looks like they're just going to triple check that the Aeroflow lane is clear to run.
Here's a... Okay, they're pushing him across.
Okay, 187.64, the AMG. Down 740 in the 8th. It's going to cross the line at 11.1, 134. It's. I think what I'm noticing when it's leaving the line, it seems like first gear is almost too short.
Yep.
Because it's sort of hopping into second, you know, it can't quite catch that shift. So I'm sure there's a bit of trickery that they can figure out with the launch on that AMG, and it'll be in the 10s in no time. Let's see what the Maloo can do to improve its time. Turn the tyres a little hard coming out. Still at 159 60 foot, so it is working.
Just got out of there too, and he's just off the racing line a bit.
Yep, a little out of the groove. Cross for a 1042 at 132. Very nice. We've got the B2R Turbo Civic down here in the Rocket Lane again. So let's see if they've hit a few page ups and figured out what the car wants off the line. Maybe a little bit more boost, a little bit more RPM before dropping the clutch. We'll see if they can't run a nice PB. We've got the track crew down there just tidying up the Aeroflow lane, making sure that the surface is perfectly clean. Every now and again we will have a car maybe drop a little bit of something.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably got a bit of coolant down there.
Yep. Wow, two-step city from the Civic there, but just not quite enough. That must have one aggressive clutch.
Yeah,
in it,
yes.
You know, that had a 3-foot flame coming out of the bonnet, and it still wasn't enough to get the thing off the line. That's heavy duty. All right, so I can see Baghdad from the Mixed Motorsport stable out in the Rocket Lane. Just going to line himself up, keep squared away in the groove. Let's see if these guys can improve. So far, we went I think a low 9 from memory.
Yep.
Mark about 160 odd, 164 maybe mile per hour. We know that there's a lot more in this. It's got a new generation precision turbo on it, mix billet engine built in-house, I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Aggressive off the launch, grabbing gears. Let's see, hang on to it, mate. 184 60 foot. It's going to cross for an 896 at 178. That's a good improvement from those guys. Congratulations. 178 mile per hour is working.
Yes.
So definitely a little bit more there.
Got off the line nice and tidy.
Nice and tidy, yeah. Wasn't too aggressive. Absolutely, there's some more there, but they're making steps forward, you know, and that's what it's about. That's the great thing about having Wednesday nights. You know, we've got the track on point for these guys. They can come out here, figure it out, and just chip away at those PBs. Right, so I think only 2 litre back again from the Karam stable up to the line. Let's see if they can't improve again. Full stage, we'll hear the 2-step, see some flames. Nice launch from the guys, 165 60 foot. They stay into it all the way down. And cross for a 962 at 153.
Good pass.
Clean pass for that car, yep, excellent.
Yeah, you can definitely see the aggression off the start line now that they've starting to work out the first half of the racetrack. So the guys doing a great job, every single team. As we've got this Supra about to come out for a run. As you mentioned, Mark, this car's been doing really well all night. But King 4G, the king, is out. 865.
He actually sat back and waited for this lane.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely something about the Aeroflow lane, whether it's just the driver position, maybe the driver just prefers to be on that side of the tree, whether the crew has deemed that there's a little bit better track condition, if it's some leftover prep from a previous weekend. Let's see, another clean launch from King 4G. Let's see as it gets down 165.60. It's doing the Evo shuffle in the big end at 883 at 174. So, whoa, and a big move in the deep end He's facing the other direction, but looks like he is safe in the big end. So, man, the Evo Shuffle went a little bit further than just in the racing surface there. So, looks like everything's off the wall. Everything is okay. We've got the track crew down there on site with the driver. So, certainly don't want to see any of our vehicles facing the way that vehicle is facing in the big end, but it's a hell of a lot better to be facing that way with a gap between the wall than anything else. So
done a great
job to hold on to that. Yep. And you know, it's probably another really important factor when you've got the safety gear on these cars. You know, you've got your parachute, you're doing over 150 mile per hour. If you've got a chute on the car, you are required to drop it.
Yep.
You know, when you've got a licensed vehicle that's running that fast, and there's a really good reason for it. Because if you go across that line and all you're doing is just jamming on the brakes, maybe you don't have the experience of running that sort of mile per hour. You just jump on the brakes, you can pinch a wheel, a tyre, lock up one, and all of a sudden it's going to go, you know, maybe left, maybe right, whatever it might be. So you pull the chute out, and generally it's going to square up the car because the chute's going to yank it back there. So great to see. Looks like the vehicle is making its way off the track under its own power. Great to see there for everyone involved, both the driver and the team. And great work for the track guys to get down there quick, 100%. Smart, and make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a big sigh of relief for everyone everything's okay and the car's under its own power.
Definitely. Who said Wednesday nights aren't exciting, mate? All right. Queen to R. Integra back down to accept the light. We've got the Tesla again. It's been doing rounds, the Tesla.
Yeah.
It's got a few laps under its belt tonight.
Yep.
Let's see if the Integra can't run a bit of a PB here. A bit more aggressive off the line, but yeah, it's just fallen off the boil after the gear change.
Yep.
That's all right. Another test and tune pass.
It's exactly it, isn't it? It's just, bit more data.
Yep. Figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work.
Yep.
You know, go, okay, I'm not going to do that next time. I'm going to do this time.
Yeah, it gives you an idea. You know, you're going to launch it out the door at, you know, like $5,000. Well, all done is fry tyres. We know, you know, start dropping that back. Well, 11.6, 118 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane. And 16.6 at 77 miles an hour.
Okay, so we're back with, I think, like I said, I didn't see them pull up to the line. It looks like Falcon and Falcon. Out there, I think we got the two NA XR6s running off again. Great bit of rivalry there. Close race, 15-12 to a 14.95 in the Rocket Lane. Right, a couple of XR5 Focuses pulling up to the line, a little 5-cylinder turbocharged combination. Got the blue in the Aeroflow lane, orange in the Rocket lane. Bit of a staging battle here, Mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, two-step engage. Off we go. All right, inside, so we're going to see them run off to a 13.25 at 108 in the Aeroflow lane to a 14.96 at 100 mile per hour in the Rocket lane.
Well, we've got the battle of the Hondas now. We must be
Absolutely.
just lining them up in makes.
Yeah, I think it's. I think these blokes are mates, right? They're probably.
Yeah.
Maybe they work at the same place and they're like, no way, mine's faster. I've got the big block. I've got a 2.4. He goes, well, my car's lighter. It's a 2 litre. That's enough. I'm going to beat you. Let's find out. Wednesday night, race for real.
Lunch for the week.
Yeah, spot on. The Accord actually getting the 60-foot over the Integra this time on that one. Hey, look, they might not be the fastest in the world, but when you're almost door to door,
Yes.
like those guys are, it doesn't matter if it's a 16 and a 15 or a, an 8 and a 9. They're still having fun. So good to see.
Definitely here. That's got a little bit of boost stuff behind it.
I think so. Yep, that's an enthusiastic burnout from the VZ Ute there, and we've got everyone's favourite Beetle,
the Porsche V-Dub.
Yeah, Porsche Super. Porsche Super W.
Yeah.
Let's see if Steve can get it off the line there. Oh, that's probably the most aggressive one. So it was wagging its tail on the way through the 60-foot there. So definitely got, and I'm not sure if maybe there was a missed gear or something from the Ute, but it was. I don't think he was expecting to follow a Volkswagen down the track.
Not have a set of headlights shine through your side window.
Yeah, that's right. Might have scared him off. All right. So we've got a Golf in the Rocket lane here. I think it's Golf R. I'm pretty sure it's got a tune on it. It's run some decent times tonight. And we've got this late model M3 in the Aeroflow lane with a quite a stout burnout for a late model BMW.
Doesn't take much to ignite those tyres, does it?
No. So we'll get them both into staging lane, into the staging beams here, and we'll see what they can do. M3 off for a 1.78, if I can speak properly tonight. 60 foot. The Golf not far behind at 180. BMW going through for an 11.59 at 121 to an 11.16 at 124 for the Golf.
Yep. You can definitely hear something with a substantial rumble to it down the tunnel.
There's a bit of a lump happening down there, yep. Another stout burnout from the S15 there. Always good. Can also see a few burnout cars coming around, so we will be having burnouts once the drag passes conclude this evening. So a bit of entertainment for everyone tonight.
Okay, we've got a car coming back behind the quad bike.
Right, S15 leading the way on this pass in the Aeroflow lane to a 13.17 at 111 miles per hour to the 13.36 for the Focus in the other lane. Looks like only 2 litre, the Evo is just getting a bit of help back to the pits there after a pass. Hopefully nothing too sinister. Maybe just ran out of fuel, Mark. You never know. We can only hope. All right, so it looks like Falcon Aeroflow lane and the Turbo E30 in the Rocket lane, hunting for some 60-foot gains. Let's see. Oh, it's a tough one. It's like a light switch getting that thing off the line, isn't it? Hopefully, I see it's got a Heisman sticker on the back. You know, the Heisman's guys have been around in Sydney for decades. You know, all things suspension. So hopefully that driver can give them a call, Brad and the guys down there at Eastman's, and say, I need this thing to get off the line a bit harder. Can we tweak some shocks? Can we change some spring rates? I'm sure they'll be able to. Figure it out. It's a bit of a tricky rear end, the IRS and an E30. They have a lot of camber change with ride height.
Yep.
It's a very early IRS sort of design, with basically a single arm.
Yeah, okay.
It's it's very similar. The Commodore, like VT to VZ Commodore IRS, is very similar.
Yep.
It's got that sort of Y-shaped arm on either side. So by nature, as the vehicle squats, it gets a lot of negative camber, which can make it very tricky. On the drag strip, because you're going from a full contact patch to maybe half a contact patch, or even less.
It's not what you want.
Not really.
Yeah.
There's plenty of adjustable kits out there for them. Benny, you're right. The mention in the background there. So we want to. That's what we sort of talk about every now and again, Mark. We talk about chassis setup. It's not we're not necessarily talking about the physical chassis itself, but all of the components that bolt to the chassis. When it comes to tuning the chassis in a drag situation, it's about suspension, springs, shocks, control arm length, static wheel alignment, toe, camber, all of those things. Even though you might think, oh, that's circuit racing stuff, or whatever, you still got to make sure that the thing goes straight down the track. And your suspension doesn't sit still. If you're in a road car, it's going to move, you're going to launch, it's going to squat, things are going to go toe in, toe out, camber, negative, positive, etc., etc. So understanding all that and what your car does, and you can tune to that, allows you to get a more consistent time and a better time out of the track. So it's not always about power, it's about being able to use the power.
Yeah, that's right, and getting it to the ground. That's why my car's been up on stands with the new braking system that I pulled all the suspension out. You can buy all the braces now for the control arms, because the Commodore rear control arms are just like a C-section.
They're fairly skinny.
So the top ones are a solid ones. I bought those ones and put in there, and the bottom ones I welded up with a lot of bracing inside them. So takes that flex out of them.
Maybe some poly bushes as well, polyurethane bushes as opposed to the big rubber voided ones.
Changed all those, and bought the same thing for all the spring saddles and everything, so they're all tight in their place. All those little things make a difference.
Because it's about keeping everything where it's supposed to be. And you've got, like, the Commodore that you've got is effectively a 4-link suspension. It's got four trailing arms, 2 upper and 2 lower. So when the vehicle launches and the diff wants to rotate, those arms are going to work in a lever action to basically, it will look like it wants to raise the back of the car, but it's actually trying to push the tyre into the ground to give you traction. When all of those bushes and the control arms are flimsy, or they're soft and they're moving around, it's trying to do everything except what it is supposed to be doing, which is putting the traction, putting the power down and giving it traction. So, all of these things add up to a fast car. Now, the ultimate is to change those control arms out, or the bushes out with, say, a rose joint, a solid mount or something like that. That's great for performance, not good for when you're driving a car to work on Monday morning.
No, not at all.
So you've got to find the middle ground and see what's right for your application. Is it an all-out drag car? Is it a street car, etc., etc.? And just chip away at that setup. And I guarantee you will find more consistency and better 60-foot ETs for every improvement that you make to the chassis in your car. Okay, a couple of utes back in the lanes here. Got the Aeroflow lane. Gets the reaction time.
Oh, a 1-tonner out in front.
Streaking away.
And on the brakes early.
Well, you don't want to dip into the 14s, mate. No. I think there's a bit of banter between those two utes because the hazard lights did come on in the braking area. So just rubbing it in there. A bit of street racing style.
Commodore out and gone. Tesla hard on the chase.
Commodore's defending our internal combustion ancestors, mate.
Not a lot between those two.
It's not a lot at all. 12.01 at 114 to a 12.02 at 113. That's a good match pair.
Yes.
All right. You know it's towards the end of the night when the burnouts start to get a little bit ramped up before the passes.
When you start hearing that limiter come in.
Yeah. I've had a few good runs. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's great to see MacArthur Motorsport Mechanical back out. Obviously, those guys have been around our off-street drag racing for a number of years now, and it's great to see Mean 8 out here having a little bit of fun down the Aeroflow lane and running on through with a 12.97.
Not a bad pass there, and a 13.94 at 107 for the Rocket Lane. All right, we've got another pair of Evos. We've got Lead Auto House in the Rocket Lane. Now making a beeline to that staging line, mate. So let's see what they can do this time. Two-step aggressive launch. It is a red light, but that doesn't matter. It's still going to register a time. 158 60 foot is going to pass at an 863 177. So that is the ET record lowered again for Radial Evo. 863 with a 9 at 177 mile per hour. That's cooking.
That is absolutely.
That is huge. That is absolutely huge. 865 earlier tonight and 863 from Elite Auto House. Man, it is on.
Just goes to show you how tightly contested this record is and how, where they really are at sort of the edge of the Evo radial record, because it's not like someone's running a 9 and then someone's running an 850 and then someone's running an 8. We're talking 869, 868, 865, 863 now.
They're all minimal increments every time.
That's right. So we're really, these guys are really pushing the limits of the combination, the platform.
Yep.
4G63. Most of them sequential gearboxes, of course. But yeah, no, as Benny points out in the background, the GDR scene was similar. Everyone was nibbling away at those records, and then it takes one big heavy hitter to come out, like John did. The Dream Crusher came out and just smacked everyone around by a good half a second or so. But yeah, I'm not sure that there's any Evos out there in this sort of combination that's going to do that anytime soon. But hey, we're here for it when it happens. That VR still just doesn't want to agree on the line, does it?
No.
It's definitely...
It just refuses.
It's in need of a converter. Listen up. It says cranky VF again, Mark.
Yeah.
So they can have a bit of slip.
Well, 10.9, 128 miles an hour for the Commodore, and 11.0, 126 miles an hour.
Great pass there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Those guys were all over it.
All right, we'll clear those guys. We've got the blue 35 GDR up to the line again with the red VX. Has been making plenty of laps tonight. 35 with a nice launch, 178, 60 foot. Nice and clean pass as we're used to seeing from our 35s. It's going to cross the line at 11.33 with a 7 at 124 mile per hour. Just in case you're legally deaf and you didn't hear it,
yep.
The C63 is back at the line to make one last pass of the night by the looks of things. I think we're going to have the C63 and then possibly the B2R Civic, I think, might come out after this one. Yeah, we'll let the... or are they going to bring them both in? Let's just have a look.
Yeah, they're holding him out.
I think they're just going to run a single. Yep, they're going to run a single with C63. Let's see if they can't get it out of the hole a little cleaner. That's a nice launch. 164, 60 foot. That's what we've been waiting to see all night from that C63. Streaking down the strip. It's crossed for a 1045 at 135 mile per hour, which is where we were hoping to see that car.
Yes, yeah. It'll so much cleaner off the line.
So much nicer.
Yeah.
Yep, figured it out. Maybe they did get that second gear launch, perhaps, or winter mode, was it, Benny? All right, so the B2R guys back here with the EK Civic all-wheel drive unit. Let's see if they've figured out some launch control. If they can't get a clean pass, let's get it up on the two-step. A little better. There's some improvements there. Let's see if they can't run it out the back door and get some data. No, it looks like buttoned off.
Yeah.
Around the half track mark. Still improvements to be made. So new combination, new setup. They'll get around it.
Yeah, I think they're probably, from what I've seen tonight, they look like they're just working on the first half track.
Yep.
Get that sorted.
Definitely. Definitely, but it's working well. Mike, we've seen plenty of great times. I mean, not to mention the resetting of the Evo radial tyre world record in ET 3 times tonight. I think we went, or twice. Twice. It's gone twice. Yeah, we went 865 King 4G.
Yep.
And then we just had, I believe it was Executor from Elite Auto House, go at 863, 177 mile per hour. So they were showing some good mile per hour there as well. So I think definitely the Evo scene is back. Everyone else is on notice by the looks of that. We've got the Osmond guys with the Evo 3. They had just pipped Evo King from ERS previously. We've got King 4G that went 865 tonight. Elite Auto House 863. They're going to leave this evening with the Crown, but it wears heavy.
Hang
that
around.
Crown.
There's
You
gonna
know,
be
yeah,
more.
there's going to be people. You know, everyone wants the throne, mate. When you got it, you know. So let's see what the Evo scene can bring out, and let's see who else is going to come out. You know, the GDR guy's going to start coming back out now again. I know everyone sort of, you know, a lot of those guys went to the roll drag sort of thing, but hey, man, you can't let all the Evos take all the limelight here at the drag strip. You know, let's see some GDRs. Let's see some Supras. I want to see some big turbo Supras again. You know, Paul Mahoyat's got his car out, which is absolutely stunning. But there's plenty of others out there. Let's see some Supras. Let's see some GDRs. Let's see some tough Commodores. Let's see some tough Falcons. Whatever it is, if you've got something fast in the garage, get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out of the garage.
Blow that dust off it.
Like Mark said earlier, if you can't drive it anymore, let your missus.
Yeah.
Get it down to the track. Let's do it, you know. But in the meantime, I think I can see the Pocket Rocket down there in his happy place near the Sydney Dragway burnout pad, ready to see some burnouts.
Yes, indeed.
You down there, Stu?
I certainly am, mate. What a night of off-street drag racing. We've got the burnouts to come. It is great to see a whole heap of people here. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow night, Tyre Thrashing Thursday here at Sydney Dragway. Kicks off about 6 o'clock. And we've got a huge night of burnouts. We've got some pro cars that'll be making their way out here to Sydney Dragway. But tonight, we've got some people here tonight, boys, that are doing double duties. So they'll do burnouts tonight, give the car a bit of a test, and then tomorrow night they'll bring it back out and have a little bit of fun. And we got Bryce Lucas from Twin Lakes Automotive, who'll be coming out first. He's been throwing the keys to his son's ute, Bankrupt. And he's going to come out and do our first skid for tonight here at Aeroflow Race for Real. You pumped? You pumped?
Always pumped, son. Always.
Mate, he's showing you the keys, so you got to look after it.
Well, he tells me I've got to look after it, but I just got to show him how it's done.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we won't be too far away from getting into the burnout. So there's a few kids up in the grandstand tonight. You guys ready for skids? Well, to all the kids, stand up, get those limited fingers up in the air. Let's make some noise. Let's get this party started.
There's a good bit of enthusiasm down there, Stewie. I think it's going to be a pretty dangerous place to be if you're a radial tyre in Eastern Creek tonight and tomorrow night for Tyre Thrashing Thursday, mate.
Yeah, it certainly will be. We're just waiting for one last car to come up the return road, the little B2R Motorsport Civic, which, as you boys mentioned, is work in progress, but I cannot wait to see it till they unleash that thing in full glory. But great to have all our workshops here tonight. Been putting on a fantastic show. All right, guys, we're about to get into the burnouts. Just wait for our fire crew quickly to make their way up. They weren't too far away. But it is great to see a whole heap of people up in Burnout Central. Might only be a small crowd, but I know you guys are pumped as much as I am for the burnouts tonight. Here comes Bryce Lucas in Bankrupt. Sydney, put your hands together for Bryce Lucas in Bankrupt. A little bit of a warm-up before tyre thrashing Thursday. I'll tell you what, boys, it is great to hear some cheering going on from the stands. You guys rock! All right, let's keep it going, guys, for our next burnout competitor. Just remember, guys, if you are filming, you need to be back up where the blue seats are. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one sus VP. Just bear in mind to everybody that is up in the stands, guys, this is a pretty serious announcement. I don't mind you guys if you're filming, guys, but please stay where the blue seats are. Okay, it is the safety aspect that we have here at Sydney Dragway. I don't mind you filming, guys, but please just stay where the blue seats start. All right, we got part of an engine sitting on the deck here. A nice big chunk of metal down here. So guys, you can see our official here just picking up part of the engine. Well, he did a good job, guys. Put your hands together for one sus VP. Well, if you're going to do it big, you may as well do it big. Unfortunately, guys, got a whole heap of oil now that is on the burnout pad, so we will have to get that attended to before we send out our next car. So guys, just while we're waiting for this car to come off, we might throw up to a few ads from our sponsors. And we should be back here very, very soon for Aeroflow Race for Real.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bang shift shifters from Aeroflow Performance are truly the modern shifter for the modern age. Featuring a full bespoke billet case, all shifters are designed for right-hand drive vehicles with an LED lit gear position indicator. Available in either ratchet or gated options, as well as OEM replacement shifters for popular Holden and Ford vehicles. A large range of Bang shift spares are available for each shifter that includes shifter cables, brackets, lever and gate kits, trans brake buttons and drop boxes for the ideal mounting solution. Shift into gear and check out a full listing at aeroflowperformance.com.
How would it be if we funded a pilot program for you to run that enabled you to bring some vision impaired kids onto the Saints Play program?
Oh wow, that would mean the world. My reward is the smile on the kids' faces.
And since you've given so much to others, we'd also like to do something for you personally. How would it feel if Pepper sent you, your partner, and your daughter Molly to the Gold Coast for a few days?
Yeah, awesome. I don't know what to say. It amazes me. Thank you very much.
Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to the Western Weekender. The Western Weekender is Penrith's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. The Western Weekender is the heartbeat of Penrith and it's out every Thursday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area, home delivered, or check out westernweekender.com.au.
boosted turbochargers from Aeroflow Performance are designed for the automotive enthusiast who wants optimal performance at a competitive price. We have a range of turbochargers in both ceramic ball bearing and 360-degree journal bearing options to suit your power goals from 200 up to 3,000 horsepower. To help turbocharge your vehicle, Aeroflow Performance also have a large range of turbocharger accessories. From steam pipe turbo manifolds, external wastegates and intake and exhaust solutions, you can have your car boosted in no time. For a full listing, check out aeroflowperformance.com.
Speed Addict Clothing Co. Fast clothes for fast people. Shop now at Speed Addict.
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems, you can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bikereview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles.
All right, so back with a vengeance out on the pad. We did have a bit of a clean up there, guys. We found a sump on the burnout pad. That's right, not just bits and pieces of a sump. That VP blew the entire sump off the bottom of it. Now, that's an effort. If you want to go full send, that's how you do it, mate.
Right, that's 10 out of 10. You can't beat that.
Very good. A stout effort from the car on the pad here.
Mate, he's had a huge start. Like,
Yeah.
I think he come out of the start of it, and the bar's hanging off already.
Out of the gates, bar off.
Yep.
Let's go. Plenty of wheel work going on down there on the pad as well. He's got some good wheel speed happening.
He's got a fairly good control of that car.
Yeah.
Gets it all pointed in the right direction.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We got a bit of tyre shredding happening. There's one. You're going to whip it through, see if we can't get that second big pop. That's the one we're all waiting for. There she goes. Give him a round of applause, Sydney Dragway. That is a cracker skid. Well done.
But yet, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. That's right. I was a bit early.
Yeah. We've still got rims to go.
Still got rims to go, that's right.
Great stuff there from VX Frying. And I do believe, fellas, that we will see that car back tomorrow night as well for Tyre Thrashing Thursday here at Sydney Dragway. Now, track crew just retrieving his rear bar.
We might have to take that one with him, Stu, for tomorrow night.
That's definitely not one for the pool room, is it, Matt?
A couple of cable ties should be right.
Yeah.
Ready to go again.
No, that's what self-tappers are for.
Yeah.
All right, Fig Jam out having a bit of fun. And the kettle is boiled, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Make some noise for Fig Jam.
It's front, back, sides. There's all sorts of things coming out of all sorts of corners on that one, fellas. That's a big effort. He's going to drive it off the pad. Let's just make sure that there's no fire under that bonnet, eh? Yeah, you think the radiator sprinkler might have got the fire in there, Benny? Hey, that's dedication, driving it off the pad too.
Well, they know, boys, that if anything breaks, they're able to get parts and so forth from Aeroflow Performance. Great stuff there from that SAS GMH. All right, next up on the pad, we got the wagon. Of course, not too long ago, we said goodbye to the Mad Dog while he gets his new car in the build. But it's good to see the wagon still represented in the burnout scene. And let's see what he's got for us this evening. Mr. Sandy, probably doing a little bit of a test. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight's Aeroflow Race for Real. What a night, fellas. Records broken, some great cars on the drag strip, and the burnout guys just starting to get a little bit of warm-up before Tyre Thrashing Thursday tomorrow night here at Sydney Dragway.
Thanks a lot for that, Stu. Great commentary down for the burnouts there, and yet we can't wait for tomorrow night. Tyre Thrashing Thursday, brought to you by Aeroflow Performance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those on the stream here at Sydney Dragway, thank you very much for tuning in to Race for Real, brought to you by Aeroflow Performance. Every Wednesday night, we are down here with, God willing, good weather. Yep. People lined up in the staging lanes, ready to run some PBs, have some fun, and see how they go. So if you weren't here this week, make sure you're here next week.
For sure.
Give it a crack.
We can see some more record breaking.
Absolutely. The Evo scene is on notice, Mark, so I'm sure there's a few workshops going out to do some page ups. Yeah. And hopefully we can see those records tumble further. So, on behalf of myself, Pat Elliott, Mark Thomas, Stephen Bush, commentary, and Stewie White down roaming in the paddock, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Have a safe trip home.